Okay, I guess I hit the wrong button on that one. I forgot where the hell I was at. So anyway, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing? Welcome to whatever the hell this thing is called. It's my birthday. That's what it is. I'm officially old. No, I'm 39 years old, ladies and gentlemen. 39. It's a hell of a number, hell of a thing to be. Sorry I'm late. Sorry I'm late. So here's what happened is I went down to my dad's house, which is like about 30 minutes south, because I wanted to go get my free cup of coffee or my free drink from this place called Dutch Bros. I'm like, oh, I'll swing by and I'll get a drink and I'll head down and I'll see my dad. And he had a birthday gift for me. And we got to talking, and mostly I was gushing about my children, how amazing my two daughters are and how much I love them. And then before I knew it, it was like 10:10. And I'm like, shit, I got to get the hell out. I got to get the hell back to stream. So I'm like racing to get home and I take all the back roads, right? And I take the back roads that I know I can speed on because like there's no cops. So I'm speeding, I'm hauling ass. And then I get to like this last stretch, like this last stretch. And then all of a sudden there is like a sea of fucking cop cars, man. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, this is literally like, there should be no police here. And there was like 12 cop cars. I'm like, what the hell's happening? So I pull on up, cop comes over and he's like, there was an accident. Car flew into a ditch. They're trying to pull it out. It's going to be like another 10 minutes, or you can turn around and backtrack. So I had to turn around, and I have a Kia Soul. So it's a hamster mobile. And I had to like race to get back to backtrack to get everything I need. And the whole time, like praying I can like keep cell signal enough in order to be able to like push back the stream a few minutes. That's my bad on that one, ladies and gentlemen. But I did see here we've got $5 right off the bat from Rel. Thank you, Rel. Happy birthday. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. I also see that we've got Bianca. Thank you. Paul. Thank you so much. Anthony Chabot, the Anthony Stir. Thank you. Power Bunny, thank you so much. Andrew Casali, thank you. Ed Evolution, motherfucker, thank you so much. Fry Guy Zero, thank you. Anthony Beltre, thank you so much. And let me take a look here. Let's see here. Someone says, you do suck. Fair assessment. Says birthday equal bonus. Goddamn right. Rational Skeptic, thank you for the $5 super chat. Says, how will J.J. Abrams react if AT&T decides to continue with Snyder? Look, here's the thing, man. I don't think it's gonna be that big of a deal. Like if JJ's got a lot of other irons in the fire and he's not working on Kal-El. If anything, they're producing the Val-Zod. That's the story. So I don't see it really being an issue. I think the fact that they're going with Val-Zod kind of leaves the door open for Cavill to continue as Superman. That's my thoughts on it. I'm trying to remain positive in regards to everything, but it's been kind of a downer week. It is. It's been kind of a downer week, although I did spend last night finally getting around to finishing up the script for the Patio commentary on the mythical unicorn that is Zack Snyder's Justice League, and that is now available over on Patio Commentary. YouTube.com/Patio Commentary is the channel. But we do got here Poindexter Lounge, and I'm calling in with that and realize, oh. Good thing your hand wasn't in your pants like Nicotina's mom.
No, that would be never mind.
That'd be Nicotina's mom.
Nicotina's mom's hand.
His mom.
In my pants? No, I don't know.
Well, I mean,
your stream. It's your stream.
True, and this is Hollywood After Dark. Let me make sure I got that up there. Make sure I got the branding. Although, what the hell is this background? I'm not even on the right one. I don't even know. Oh my god. There. You know what? We'll go back to the GIF of Hollywood. Or I got this one here.
Birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
You're saying it with me.
To you. Happy birthday, Mr. President. We got to do it right. I can't. It's got to do it like it's to the press, to JFK.
Happy birthday to you.
How
This is just creepy.
how old are you now? How old are you, Charbo? How old are you now?
Oh my God. You know what? You do suck. You're not the only one, man. Feeling pretty good about that. All right.
Well, thank you.
I do have to say,
I got a way about me.
I like-
know what it is.
I like that Zod Rider the whole time just has this like very stone look on his face the whole time. He's like, I've seen this
Hey,
before.
I just wanted to come on here and say happy birthday, Matt. Awesome.
Thank you so much, man.
I'm glad you're having this stream. And Enosh, that was a little bit creepy, but I was okay with it.
Good
So
with it.
That's okay.
I
No
was
one is
good
going to
with
see
it.
this after the fact. Like no one is going to see it. It's not going to
Is
happen.
anybody seeing it now? I don't.
No, this is I mean,
Nah.
20 people. We do have Mad Max the Mandalorian here. How's it going there, buddy?
Oh, I'm all right. How are you
Man,
doing?
I'm doing okay. Today's been interesting. It's so weird like when your birthday doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like what I mean by that is it's 39. It's 39. So I've got 1 year left in my 30s and then I'm going to be the big 40. But
well,
like
you have to have as much fun as you can until
yeah,
I'm with
Yeah.
you, Power Bunny. I'll just sing happy birthday that way to like all my streaming friends. And
You should.
I'm
Album.
sorry.
you totally should.
I love you, Matt, but I'm not singing.
Max, I want you to look deep into your heart and I want you to pull out a tune.
And there's
Come on,
nothing
Max.
there.
I want
Come on,
you to
Max.
I
I
want you
don't
to just
sing. I don't sing.
Oh,
That's
look
the
at he
point.
zips
That's
it
the
up. He
point.
zips it up. He's embarrassed, ladies and gentlemen.
I take it
Max
off.
is embarrassed. You shouldn't be embarrassed. You should sing. Maybe not the same
Put
way
it down.
Enosh did.
If I knew singing was, I would have came in later. Because I listen. My wife doesn't like my singing either, and she loves me, but not the singing.
That's okay, man. That's okay. Not everyone can pull off a very kind of
I'm no Enosh with my voice.
music man here says bring out the piano music. We're not quite there yet. The piano music could happen later on. But quick here, $2 super chat from
pianist.
Rational Skeptic. It's from a Boulder Talk thing from the other night. It says, how come no news on Man of Steel 2? Does Warner Brothers want it? No. Let's be fair. They don't want it.
No,
They're going to have to
they
be
don't want
forced to make it.
Were you listening to my theory on my show?
No, I didn't even know I came in at the end because I was down visiting my dad.
Well, I reevaluated the Ann Cernoff article. I posed this question to my panel, and if your viewers might like to, because we have some different viewers here too, take away that they don't want to do it, and think about maybe even if they are, that Hollywood does these things. They put these out here for negotiation tactics. Oh, we finished this trilogy because guess what? He did it for free before. Zack's not going to do this for free again. So they have to, if they are going to continue, if it does go that route just on HBO Max, they have to negotiate with him. He's sought after because of the Netflix Army of the Dead. So it could have also been put out there to say, oh, we don't need to, as a negotiation tactic.
Well, I mean, I kind of understand where you're coming from on this one, and I've been trying to come back and think about it in different ways over the course of this past week because it's been kind of like, a little bit on the sad side. What she said is we're not developing the Ayer cut. Okay.
Yeah, that.
Now, that could mean a couple different things. Like they're not developing it because it's what needs to be developed. Right? If we already know that it's already done, but David Ayer did respond to that by putting out he says why and then a crying face emoji. So either they're playing up some shit, but I'm not too sure.
Well, that does reveal one thing though. If he replied directly, because that means that he wasn't in talks with them yet. If he really responded genuinely like that, don't you think?
Well, I mean, yeah,
he should know if there was talks. He would say
well,
something.
true. I mean, and Ann Sarnoff is the one in charge of HBO Max, so if she's saying it, that is again, Keelar is the only person above it, and that makes it harder to to sit there and still kind of go. Things are looking, I know everyone's pushing the restore the side, 1.5 million tweets on that, which is awesome, but it's so difficult to look at what they're officially saying and then go you know, but then again, Snyder Cut is currently available on HBO Max on my television. So anything can happen. It's just going to take time. It's going to take time.
And it broke records up in Canada too.
Sure
My
did.
dad watched it. My dad
On
watched
Crave.
it.
Apparently, it's the highest watched Crave thing ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, yet they're not. I don't understand what they're doing. I mean, no, visiting my dad. My dad's not a really big comic book guy, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I watched that Snyder Cut this week."
Oh, yeah, I know a lot of people in real life who didn't care, who said, "Oh, we're watching Justice League." It's like, whoa.
Well, he never saw 2017. He never saw 2017, so he saw this one, and he was like, "Yeah, it was good." And I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Held my interest." I'm like, "For 4 hours?" He's like, "Yeah, yeah." Like, he didn't like lose his mind over it or anything, but like my dad, you know, he doesn't really get that excited about these kind of movies, but he brought it up and he's like, "Yeah, it's pretty good."
Can
know?
you imagine having the benefit of never having seen 2017?
Oh,
I forgot a lot of it.
What an
I forgot a
amazing-
lot of it.
What an amazing gift.
That's where I got confused because I forgot so much of the movie, and I'm like, I didn't want to go back, but I didn't want to go back and revisit it. I didn't want to see it again. I didn't care, you know. I thought to myself, it was like not worth it to me to go back.
I
and
did. I
watch it.
watched it again. I watched it again prior to watching the Snyder Cut because I wanted just to know. I wanted to be like, yeah, this is the garbage we got, and I treated it like a parody. I actually enjoyed it watching and treating it like the garbage that it is. I looked at it like, wow, this is a parody movie. This is not to be taken seriously. This is just some garbage that they threw together. And then when you watch the Snyder Cut, you're just like, wow, yeah, definitely a parody movie.
Hey, look
yeah,
at that, Justin. Hey, Justin.
I saw that. I'm gonna get to that here in a second. I did get a $4.99 super chat from Arkham Gaming. Sorry that I missed this one.
Okay.
Says, do you think we will get more risky characters like a Nightwing movie, Marvel doing Young Avengers? WB has to start making risky decisions. Agreed. Well, I mean, to be fair, we should have already gotten a Nightwing movie that was actually in discussion. They had a director, the guy who did Lego Batman movie, actually. He agreed to do the Nightwing movie, and then now he's doing Dungeons and Dragons, I think. But Joker was an absolute risky decision,
Sure.
and it pulled in $1 billion.
But and WB lost out on that because they didn't have any confidence in it. They thought it was going to be garbage.
They did, and they didn't merchandise it at all. At all. I mean, you know, I kind of get given all the controversy surrounding it, to be honest with you. But at the same time, it's like they should take more risks like the Joker. Like, give us a Deathstroke movie, like the $60 million Gareth Edwards Deathstroke movie. Fuck, dude, that would have made.
I
him
feel
you
bad
know.
for him. He's got people really mess with his stuff too. All his projects.
Yeah. It's you know, the thing is, the leadership over there, we all know, is terrible, and they're not getting anybody. You figured they would learn. They would learn. Like Hollywood is a very reactive business. So react to what the customers are
It
telling
goes
you.
to show, Matt, like that to them, their egos are everything. It's because we can tell now from this experience that it's not about money. It's not about fan demand. It's about a couple little egos up at Warner Brothers who want things to be a certain way and don't like Zack Snyder, don't like the fans, don't want to have anything to do with it. And that's why we're in the mess that we're in. Because if it was about money, you can already tell that there's viability for it, that it's going to bring people in and people are going to engage with it and are excited about it. And I mean, I've never seen anything like it from, you know, with the reaction to where the Snyder Cut is now. And, you know, like the stuff yesterday with Restore the Snyderverse. I mean, it was unbelievable to be a part of that. And I think they should take notice. And if anything else, there's a viable audience for that. And that audience wants to give them money. So I don't know what they're
It's ego.
thinking about. Yeah.
It's all
but
ego, dude.
but again, it's like it's not show friends, it's show business, right?
Yeah, I know.
So what has your ego got to do with greenbacks? I don't know.
Well, in this case, I think it has a lot to do. It's a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, right? So if you look at like the you know, like Kevin Tushihara for doing Justice League, you know, he's the one that wanted a hard 2-hour cut. He's the one that that was being pressured into firing Zack after BVS bombed, and he opted to keep him under the condition that Zach make a lighter toned movie, because he was thinking like, we need the business. And so let's at least keep going. Everything's already in place. It's going to save us money to just keep moving forward at this particular place. But by the time the movie came out, they had no confidence in it. And that goes that, they were moving away from everything. They were doing the anti-Marvel move, which was, you could see like Aquaman was in a different universe. Shazam supposedly was in a different universe. Birds of Prey was in a different universe. They were just kind of building out and not trying to build towards something. It was the reverse. It was all reverse is basically what I'm trying to say. And I hope they realize they messed that up. But real quick here, I did want to make sure I got this one. Justin Proper, $5. Thank you, sir. Says, we may not like each other, but I will say this. You are not old. You are older for 365 more days. So have a happy Boulder birthday. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
That's cool, Justin.
I don't not like you.
No, Justin and I got into it. We got into it. I don't have any ill will towards Justin.
Yeah.
I just got frustrated and I raise my voice when that happens sometimes. So that's the whole situation. And then also Andrew here, Caselli, $5. Thank you so much. So I'd rather have Batfleck versus Deathstroke, Man of Steel 2 over that messy slate. I mean, Bat Wheels, my God. The messy slate, I'm not too sure what that one is, but I agree with you. I'd rather have Batfleck versus Deathstroke.
Over that messy slate of movies.
The movie,
okay.
The movie's WB is behind right now.
Right.
Look, I want to see it, but not after I don't get to see the arcs completed.
That's the thing. They treated the audience like the audience was dumb. And that's the whole situation. That's the worst. That's the thing. You can criticize the MCU all you effing want, right? Criticize them all day long. They don't treat the audience like they're stupid. They go, this is what we're going to do. They set it up and they knock it down every time. Feige is a master at going like, this is what we're going to do. And we're going to give it to you in a way that you're going to like. And everyone goes, all right. And they're happy with it for the most part. DC's like, maybe you'll like it one day. I don't know. I'm so frustrated by it at this point. Like I love the movies and I love the characters and I love all the build up for it, but it's like, I don't know if I want to sit through fucking 3 more years of this stuff, And I'm not saying to be a downer. I'm saying that it's like, I'm down for the fight, but it's also that whole notion of like, at least with the Snyder Cut, we knew it was shot. With the Snyder Cut, we knew that it was shot. We knew that it was tangible. It existed.
I'm like excited I could be part of something amazing. Like, yeah, I'm ready to fight for it all as long as I don't go jump the shark and go toxic and like our friend Goldman says, something that you dislike in entertainment is someone else's favorite movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you have to keep that in mind, I think, and that's the truth. I honestly, at the beginning, I'm like, how can anyone like The Last Jedi? And that's not fair. That's not fair. I'm not getting into the argument, but it's not fair. I get what you're saying. Now I like it more than I used to because I saw Rise of Skywalker.
And that happens. I heard one review about the Force Awakens that brought up a lot of what Lucas was trying to do with the prequel trilogy, especially with Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. And after listening to his perspective on that, I went back and I rewatched the prequels and I was like, oh, okay. And so then I looked at Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith through a different perspective. And I appreciated him a lot more. In fact, actually, Attack of the Clones like elevated in my mind a great deal. I love that movie now. That movie, I'm kind of like protective over it a little bit. But I did see we got Saggy Melons here. What's going on, Saggy?
Nothing. I just want
to say that I'm old. I'm going to boot you. You say I'm old.
I just want to say happy birthday, Matt Jarbo, and you're.
There we go. I got her. Got it beforehand.
Damn it! I was like, should I still say it?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
How's it feel to be? How old are you now?
39.
Oh, you're still under 40. I thought you were like
ancient
turning the
one.
big 40.
The ancient one.
That's next year.
Oh,
I'm turning 40. This year is only 39.
Okay, I take it back. You're not that old yet. Cause
You're
only a few years older than me. Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, what the hell? What the hell, Saggy?
I'm sorry.
You're talking all this trash. I'm not even 40 yet.
Y'all a bunch of youngins.
Why? How old are you, Enosh? 21? I don't want to hear it. Shut your 21 mouth up. Yeah, you even old enough to rent a car yet? Yeah, you're 21. You can rent a car.
I'll take
that
it.
was look. I'll tell you, that was cooler than being able to drink. Was being able to rent a car.
Yeah, because
know?
we all drank before we were 21.
That is true.
Like my 21
that is
birthday, I was
very-
like,
Not
my
me.
21 birthday, I was like, nah, I don't want to
Wait,
get
hold-
out and get drunk.
Wait, Max, were you you didn't drink before you're 21?
No,
Really?
Really? Like, I mean,
no, I did a little bit. I mean,
Yeah, I did.
only what my parents gave me.
I'm drinking right now. What are you doing?
Here's you could have a beer.
Drinking
right
that
now.
I only drank what my parents gave me.
Hey, it's Matt Jarbo's birthday. What's going
Yeah.
on, Matt?
Yeah.
Like I never got like like go to a party get drunk before I'm 21.
Pull out
No,
that
I didn't do that.
IPA. Gosh.
Oh
Wait, what
man.
channel,
Pull
what
it
channel
out,
is this
buddy.
on?
I've still never had any of this.
What
Never.
channel is this on? Because I was looking for it, and you still can't stream on your main.
Yeah, this is my Hollywood After Dark channel. This was
What
like my
channel is this?
Can I- Matt, what channel? What channel is this? Where am I?
Well,
I don't know what's going on. What the hell?
I don't even know what channel I'm on. I'm just there. It's so much fun.
I am a good boy. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord Slug.
Well, I went
I
to
am
the-
a good boy.
Sing that way. Happy birthday to you.
I went to the channel. I was like, I didn't get a notification.
Happy
So I was ready.
Yeah.
birthday.
No, I forgot this channel existed, to be honest with you. Not that I forgot that I just hadn't
So
done
did
anything with
most
it.
of you.
Everybody
YouTube.
else.
Yeah, in like a year, yeah. And
What
then I'm
up?
like, oh yeah, I can
So did
stream on this
YouTube.
channel over
Woohoo.
here, and then I'll just link it over. It's like, but it's fine. I like it.
I came
I
back
like
to
that.
StreamYard.
You have
Everything was
glasses on?
gone.
You
Yes, I
have
do.
glasses on over the
I'm an
Dr.
intellectual doom.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for him to take off the
Nice.
mask and have the look at him. This boomer. It's boomer. It's boomer doomer.
This is the reveal. This is the
Boomer.
reveal everybody's
Here,
been
take-
waiting for. He's going to
take-
out himself on whatever channel this is.
What channel is this? Youngins?
Listen, it was an honest boo boo because I didn't get the notification. So I was like, how come it doesn't show he's live? What the heck channel are we on right now?
Well,
I
I,
was
mean,
very-
how many YouTubers have like 18 billion channels? You know what I mean? Like,
Those food things, those 5-minute crafts people do. They have like hundreds.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
Matt, I'm so
Yeah.
excited about Moon Knight. I
I feel
shared
left
this.
out. I feel like I should
this
make another channel.
I'm sharing it. It's not going to get copyrights on Instagram.
oh, I've seen this. I've seen this on Twitter.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I want to watch it again. He looks so legit. Oscar Isaac, look at that shit. Look
When
at that.
Ashley, yeah, no, he's training, which
Yeah,
is good.
that looks better than Daredevil
Did
stuff.
Max just say a swear?
A little bit.
He
I mean, I'm
swears.
excited.
He's
Occasionally.
sworn before.
Yeah, he swears when he's mad, but I never heard him swear when
I
he
never
was,
say
like,
the F
normal.
one unless I really mean it.
Oh yeah, that's true. The F1.
And I
Oh,
did
you
on
used
your
it the other
channel.
day. Yes, you used it on
No, I
Staggy's
said-
channel the
I
other
said,
day.
Yes,
you know
he
what I
did.
mean it.
I heard
mean
that
it.
was
Running
the F
with
heard
scissors-
around the world.
Running with Caesars, man. He's got it. Max
I'm-
is really Jeremy Griggs the whole time.
No,
I'm glad I don't do cam on my stream.
I've heard that accusation before.
If you guys saw my face when Max
Oh.
dropped that F bomb, my jaw literally hit the floor. I was like, oh. I was like, oh.
Did you know I meant it?
Oh yeah,
I-
trust me. I
Words
knew
have
that.
meaning for me.
Oh, my jaw hit the ground. I was like, oh, he said the F word. Ooh, it's like my granddad.
You didn't
my
even.
granddad's
You
floor.
ended the stream after that. I was seeing if what you were gonna do.
Oh
during
yeah,
that.
I literally was like,
This-
good night, everybody.
Some participants were ready to keep talking about probably me
Yep,
while I was gone,
done.
and you're
I
like,
was
nope.
done after that.
Oh,
So-
what I always find funny is that because I do the Boulder Talk Radio, which is completely not movie related, and people who like movies from nobody from 3 Buck Theater will end up over there because like they see the link on Twitter or something, and I'll be making a very dirty joke, and they'll be like, "What did I walk into? What is this? You're like." It's
No, I
so
go in your
that's-
stream sometimes. The Buller thought I'm like, what the hell what is he talking about now?
I try to be as uncouth as humanly possible, within
Yeah.
reason. I like to make odd jokes where I can. It's always pretty fun for me. I like it. It's what I do. All right, we got a $5 here from Arkham Gaming. Thank you so much, sir. I don't have any drops on this channel. I need to get some drops. 'cause apparently-
Nicotina's mom!
Yeah. I got the Kal-El. No, not on this one, but I did get that one for the other one. Anyway, he says here, don't you bet we won't get Batman Beyond or Nightwing until Marvel does their versions first and they start doing it. Agreed. You know what? I kind of don't disagree. Here's how you get DC to react, to do something new. Marvel does it first.
So Marvel hires Zack Snyder to do some sort
Oh.
of edgy Frank Miller Daredevil movie arc, and then DC will be like, Come back and finish the Snyderverse, Zach.
Pretty much. I mean, here's the thing with that though, man, is I would love that for one.
I would too.
Punisher,
I
dude.
think
Ooh.
I think what Feige needs to do is he needs to, and I think he's smart enough to understand this. He needs to start tying it into the larger, you know, like in the larger R-rated stuff. Like they bought 20th Century Fox. Like they have that now specifically to start doing these kind of projects, and to put out that kind of material that's going to be more on the edgier R-rated side because they know that that is a large part of the audience. So, yeah, bring in someone like Zack Snyder. Give him a modest enough budget for something like a Daredevil or Punisher. Give him Punisher.
Yeah.
You know,
Can
and
you
just I mean,
imagine?
imagine Snyder directing, you know, John Bernthal, because that's my Punisher, and how crazy that would be, how over the top that would be, and how nuanced it would be.
But
Yeah.
see, the thing is,
got really excited.
they would have to really the only thing with Snyder jumping over to do something for Marvel is they would have to let Snyder do what he wanted to do.
And
That's
that's
the thing.
been well, and that's a problem. That's a problem because look at Patty Jenkins. She was signed on for Thor 2. She exited over creative differences and how they wanted to handle it. So it makes a lot of sense that they would, you know. And look, I mean, at this point in time, like Feige absolutely, no,
Your
you know,
dogs
he
are
knows what he's
wild
doing.
tonight.
Well, I mean, we know the Russo brothers are Snyder fans, so
Yeah.
maybe.
Right.
Well, the thing is,
Um,
Hollywood knows it. Hollywood's a very small city, dude.
I should probably go because my dogs are driving me nuts today. I've been on 3 hours. That's why she's so amped. She wants time for me to rub her belly on the couch.
See you tomorrow, Max.
But
Yes,
Or
see tomorrow.
later.
Big day.
yeah, but congrats, Matt.
Thank
Glad
you.
have your stream tonight. I'm enjoying this. I'll be listening maybe when I
Maybe.
go to bed.
Maybe.
It is too.
Maybe.
that was-
This
that
is
was
my
pretty
third
good.
stream tonight in a row.
Yeah,
Like,
I took most of today off. I just I
Anyone else?
hung out with my kids.
I
and
gotta go
just,
too. It's getting late. It's 2:30 in the morning, but I wanted to come by and say
Everyone's
happy
gotta
birthday.
All right, man.
Oh,
I
nice.
appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
I know
I
it's
wanna-
late
Love
for
you,
you
Matt.
guys.
Happy
Yeah, man.
birthday.
I wanted to
Thanks,
say
guys.
happy birthday too, but anyone else also we think it's weird that Matt Jarbo's not actually on his phone in the car doing a delivery right now. And anyone else think that's weird? Or is it,
It
just
is.
me?
It's my birthday. I
Sorta.
took it off. I was going to. I wasn't going to go out delivering tonight, so I came home.
Aw.
Aw.
Well, I did. I also I hate to say it, but I also do have to run because I have work in the morning. But
Oh,
I didn't
No,
wanna-
it's all
no,
good.
I'm
I know it's
staying.
late.
Now I'm
No,
staying.
no. It's all good. It's all good, guys. I'll drop the link. People will come on in.
Okay.
It's. I have no issue with it. I understand you guys. It's a little later than I wanted it to be. That's for certain. You know, but I had to go down and see my dad. So you know.
Aw.
yeah.
Well, happy
Music
birthday.
man. Bye everybody.
Bye,
Love you
everybody.
guys.
Love you, Matt. I will
All right,
see
guys.
you next time. You
I'll
have
be
a happy
around.
birthday.
Thank you guys very much. Have yourself a good one.
It's
everyone.
our drunk
Later,
show on,
guys.
our drunk song on the way out. Show me the way to go home. I'm tired and I want to go to bed. Well, I had me a drink with Jarbo about an hour ago, and it went right to my head, where I don't know the rest of the song. But I'll make it up. It's about Jarbo. Cause it's his birthday, stay with him, cause we're all leaving, but we love you. Hope you know. Yeah. Love you, man.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one. Thanks for coming on by. And then let me drop the link in here for anyone else who wants to come on in. We'll chit chat for a while.
Who would be the craziest to have a lot of drinks with? Do you think Enosh? I think Enosh would be a wild man.
Maybe.
Fun.
I think it'd be fun. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the key is the people that like it really pushes how much you know, it blows up your opinion. Like I'm a fun drunk. Like, I'm a real fun drunk.
I'm
You
an
know.
emotional drunk. I start to cry if I get too drunk.
Yeah. You gotta make sure you watch out on that one, man. That can be a problem. It's happened.
Yeah.
It's definitely happened. I've never cried while I was drunk, but like I've gotten to that point.
if you get real, you know, because if you start to get real emotional, especially if you're thinking about crappy things in the first place, you know, so it's
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I try not to drink when I'm emotionally distressed.
right.
That's definitely one of those
That's
things. I mean,
definitely
like
not the coolest thing ever.
well, you know, it's funny because I haven't had any alcohol since like July of 2019. So I haven't had anything in almost 2 years now, and I don't miss it. I don't care. You know, like I wouldn't mind a beer every once in a while, but I found out a couple years ago that I was a type 2 diabetic. So I'm like, you know what? I might as well just kind of like back off and like not do it. And, you know, everything else. This doesn't stop me from drinking a fucking Rockstar every day, but I can't do all that healthy living. I know, kind of brought the stream down. So, Snyder Cut. We haven't talked about that enough, have we? No, real quick, Max, I want to ask you. I know you got to bail. And there are people that are in the back
I
room.
could stay a little bit more. I'll stay for like 10, 15, 20 minutes.
What was going on with your stream? Then you talked about like a renegotiation or something like that.
Well, people go to the thing. Well, why did Wonder Woman 3 get greenlit the next weekend? They were kind of already moving that way. It cost them nothing to do that. If they actually go forward with the Snyderverse, it's a whole new shebang. They already had plans to have Ben Affleck be on The Flash. Who knows if that's still going to happen? Henry Cavill do one more appearance and that be it. They're going to have to renegotiate everything. And I mean, just go back to the whole topic about when they were saying, let's make it a series instead of a film. They're like, oh, we have to renegotiate that contract. So it's already been discussed that would be a big headache. So if it happens, they're going to have to put out the money. And yeah. I think another angle that not a lot of people were covering, I'm like, I don't just try to create spin. I'm like, I was actually thinking about like, what else could this be besides saying it's done? This could also be a typical Hollywood negotiation tactic because he is sought after. The other thing that's happening is he wasn't just sitting around waiting for W to get back him. He was making new deals, new projects. The movie's already done. It was delayed just because of the pandemic, Army of the Dead. It's ready to go. It's ready to blow up too. If it becomes successful, he's one of the most sought after for streaming. And that's also, besides their personal opinions, you want what you can't have in Hollywood too. If someone else wants him that bad, it's another damaging blow to HBO Max for him to go soon sign an exclusivity deal with Netflix. And that, I mean, to let him go, I think there's more to it than we're just thinking. I think there's a little bit of feelers out there. I think if they are going to do it, this is the time they're starting to negotiate for real. After the perception, after the reviews, the numbers are coming out. This is everything always. The stuff with forward momentum always happens the weekend after in Hollywood.
Yep.
Once they see the numbers, they want to see the numbers. It doesn't matter what anyone says. Yes, personal feelings and egos for sure. This is Hollywood, but it's all about the numbers and engagement. And you can't manufacture this type of social media presence on anything else. I mean, if you put a poll up, and I'm thinking about putting a poll up, are you more excited for Flash or to see Justice League 2? And that's not just Snyder Cut fans. I think the majority of people. I'm going to put a poll up on Twitter.
Normies too, yeah. Normies are excited about the Snyder Cut.
You can't ignore that. You can't create that buzz again. They're going to have no choice in a certain point. And if they don't, it's okay.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I get what you're saying, but you have to understand here, it's like it's not everything that HBO Max is doing is going to be DC related, right? Mm-hmm. So they understand that DC is definitely going to be a hot property, but also so is Dune, and they're doing they have Dune coming out sometime this year, as well as the Dune the Sisterhood spinoff that they're doing, right? And so that's going to be a thing. Like, so they are developing more content to run alongside their big budget films, the ancillary content. And I think like Peacemaker is a perfect example of that. And look, I'll be honest with you guys. After watching that trailer for Suicide Squad, they gave John Cena some of the best lines in that trailer. They sold John Cena in that movie. Mm-hmm. And I think that was definitely done as a precursor because Peacemaker is going to be coming out as a show, and they want to establish that character now, and they want to establish that he's going to be something that they're going to want to move forward with, So and the thing is, John Cena brought out some pretty funny acting chops at the end of that thing. So I have to wait and see what they do with it, but I really do feel like that they're going to start building that up. But I really feel that they should give us. They got to give us some info, some numbers on this stupid damn thing. Give us some numbers of what happened, because you can hear tallies from like different outlets, and you're trying to like make it work in different marketplaces, but really the cold hard data coming out of HBO Max is what we need, and they haven't given us, and that's, to be fair, kind of frightening.
Mm-hmm.
So
I also say you have to. I was thinking about it today. You have to be careful with watching it. There's not normal like skip chapters, like press forward on the Snyder Cut.
oh, really?
So make sure you watch it to the end credits and then it resets, because then you have to rewind. Because the first time I watched it, I'm like, oh man, I want to watch it from the beginning again. You can't just skip back. They, for some reason, they didn't include the chapter skips. I mean, there's chapters there; it's divided by that. But be careful,
Okay.
because they are looking at the numbers. I would say watch it all the way to the end credits. And
Well,
then
see,
let it
it's
reset.
also kind of like the way they might view it the same way Netflix views it,
Mhm.
which is like Netflix only, like they'll calculate views, but only to a certain extent, right? Like they'll calculate minutes watched. Like well, no, hold on, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm mixing up YouTube and Netflix on that one. I might be. I'm not too sure actually how they do it. Now that I think about it, I thought I did.
I
know,
think
but-
they do retention scale too, because there was articles coming out against it. People didn't finish it; they only watched the first fourth or something, or the first
Yeah, but you know,
third.
I mean, to tie that into like video games, you know how many fucking video games people don't finish? A lot of them,
Yeah, for
right?
real.
I mean, developers know, based off of the based off of the trophies, you can see a general percentage, like when you finish a game, how many people actually beat that game. And in many cases, you're looking like at maybe 30 to 35% of people who spent like $60 on this brand new game actually saw it through to the end. Now, what does that tell you? Like, what does that tell you about the game and everything else? So it's very interesting to see how that works. Now, Rel here says, interesting comment. Do they have to give out numbers? I thought streaming services could just lie. Well, they could, but it's not in their best interest to lie. I mean, it might be in their best interest to fluff some numbers here and there, or to like look at the how they phrased Wonder Woman 84. All right, remember how they phrased that, Zon? They said, "Hey, half of our subscriber count watched Wonder Woman 84."
Right.
And-
Right. They tried to bolster up Wonder Woman 84 only because they already had the third movie greenlit. So they just wanted to make it,
Yeah.
There was nothing that those streaming numbers did for Wonder Woman 84 that they weren't going to do for a Wonder Woman 84 anyway. The whole Snyder Cut thing is completely unprecedented.
Well, yeah, and then look at the data that 2/3 of the people who signed up, of the 4 million that signed
Right.
up for HBO Max during Wonder Woman, kept their subscription, which is great. So then also the people that the Snyder Cut, they're saying, oh, it didn't blow up with new members necessarily, but a lot of those were holdovers from Wonder Woman 84. So it's like,
Yeah, but it's because people signed up. It's like I took look at myself as an example. When they announced the Snyder Cut, they had a promotion. You could sign up for HBO Max and get it for a year for $11.99 a month.
yeah,
And I jumped on that. I signed on up with that immediately once the Snyder Cut was announced. And I know there were probably a lot of people who were Snyder Cut fans who jumped on that immediately as well. So you're going to, as word of mouth continues to get, be positive for this movie, they're going to naturally get more subscribers through the positive word of mouth. That's what gets people excited. That's
Yeah.
what makes people want to jump on a new streaming service. You have to have something to bring people there and maintain people. So the idea that the notion that there's so much, fire towards the Snyderverse right now that they're just going to completely abandon that and not touch it and not develop any new projects, that's absolutely ridiculous. You've got to capitalize on that if you want to take advantage of the upstream and popularity that you have. You're going to get some new subs as a result of that, but you want to maintain those subs. You don't want the whole Snyder army ditching HBO Max because you're not going to go any further with the Snyderverse. That would be
Yeah.
counterproductive.
Well, I think Stephen Colbert said it one time where he's like, you got to come back in like 6 months and address the holdover for 6 months to see whether or not people kept the service. Because look, HBO Max is a good service. It is.
Yes, it is.
There's a lot of good content there.
Content, yes.
And like they've got stuff that, and the fact that they're more emphasis on the adult audience is, I think, better. Like, and the cool thing is, like, for kids, you can go and you can watch like Sesame Street, right? Because they've got the rights to Sesame Street. So I can put that on for my kids. But then they've also got like South Park, and they've got Rick and Morty, and they've got all Adult Network, or Adult Swim and Cartoon Network, and they got like they got the Boondocks, for crying out loud. They got the fucking Boondocks.
They got a lot
which
of
I
great
love that
stuff.
show.
They got a great stuff. They got the remastered Babylon 5. I mean, they've got so much
Yeah.
great stuff on HBO Max that it's worth it to you if you're a fan of any of those properties. But the whole idea is you want to get new people in. You want to lure people in with new content. You want to be able to dangle that carrot. And I just feel like, yeah, Wonder Woman 84 probably was considered a hit, but they also have to remember they released it on Christmas Day. People needed something to watch. People were like, okay, this is, of course you're going to get a lot of people watching it on Christmas Day, but over time, Snyder Cut is going to surpass that.
Yeah, I like what Rel here says.
Already has.
I'd assume that it definitely has. He says one day someone is going to create a documentary on Warner Brothers meddling issues, starting from Superman Lives. So what you're saying is someone needs to take up the John Schnepp mantle. Right. I've thought about it. I've thought about about putting something together. I'd love to make a documentary again. I'd love to kind of get out from behind the camera and behind the setup here and like travel and actually like interview people. Definitely not with fucking COVID, but and then real quick, Rational Skeptic here, $2 super chat, says get rid of Hamada, bring in Kevin Smith.
I don't know if Kevin Smith can handle everything. I like Kevin.
Look,
I like him.
You would cry.
I get what that's nothing wrong with crying. Crying's fine. Weeping is good. Lets it out of your system. You get it. But look, here's the thing. Kevin Smith is my personal hero, so I do not say this lightly, and I do not say this to be mean-spirited. Kevin is a creative. You do not want to put a creative in charge, of a studio like this. You just don't want to do it because there's business side of it as well. You would want to have someone you'd want to have Hamada put Kevin Smith in charge of those characters, but like not running the show. It's like Kathleen Kennedy needs to bring in somebody to oversee Star Wars as a whole, like an architect for it. Kevin could do it, but he does get lost in his own shit occasionally. Like he just does. And it's like, it could be good or bad. And the fact that he's also very self-deprecating, which is part of just kind of how he copes, would not go well for trying to sell a project like this to the mass market, because you'd always have to be confident, and I think there's a lot there that goes into this kind of stuff. A lot of it's optics. But I think Kevin gets it. His Daredevil comic graphic novel from back in 2000 was fantastic. His run on Green Lantern was really good. He gets the characters, and I think bringing him in to craft the story and definitely the dialogue would go a long way. But none of this like giant fucking spider shit.
It would stress him out too. He recovered from a heart attack. So that'd be too stressful a job.
Yeah.
Seriously.
No, I agree. Yeah, I definitely agree, man. Like Kevin is
he's
like
doing
I said,
good now. He's doing good.
Oh yeah,
he's like YouTube. He's smoking.
He's doing a
weed
ton
still.
of shit. Let's see here. Power Bunny says there's a reason why Kevin Feige is the chief creative officer. Yeah, I'd give you a reason on that. He's got a vision. Andrew here says Kevin Smith is not a business executive. Again, that's a factor. According
to Zack Snyder on Vero, he doesn't think that they're going to be able to ignore those 1.5 million tweets.
I'd like to counter that with
Snyderverse.
I agree, but I'd also like to be a cynical bitch for a second and counter with watch.
Oh, really?
Because they will. They have to do.
Here's the thing, Matt, and Brian, Master of None, brought this up on my stream. You talk about a can of worms. If you just ignore it and try to bury this and never address it again, this is going to follow them around forever. Whenever they try to do they might as well just do it. But again, there are factors, and I'm just trying to take you guys back through it. Who led the charge for the Snyder Cut movement? Who did it? It was Zach. Mm-hmm. It was Zach. Zach would leak information via Vero, which would make its way out there. Right? It would go to Twitter, then it would go to Facebook or whatever, and then it would go to YouTube or it'd go to like the blogs, and he would just keep teasing and teasing and teasing, right? And he would always give you something because people were saying that the cut didn't exist, but he would go like, no, it exists. Here's something from it. So what I'm talking about is there was tangible stuff there that was able to be used in order to push this thing forward. Here we're going into the territory where literally
Warner HBO Max is going to have to greenlight something that's like 150 to 200 million dollars. You know, and I trust me, I want them to do it. I'm just saying it's like what we had before is different from where we are now. What we had,
yeah, but I don't think we should really be comparing the two, because again, HBO Max needs new content. It's not like they won't dump money on big projects. I mean, they were dumping money like it was water on Game of Thrones.
But Game of Thrones had a return, but it had a return, right?
Yeah.
Like, so think of it like this: the average cost of a season of Game of Thrones was $60 million for 10 episodes. Never mind all the merchandise that they're able to sell and the DVDs and all that shit. So a $60 million investment once a year is different than a $200 or $300 million investment, right? So that is where, if they're going to do it, and I agree with you that they should be IP mining this like crazy. What they should do is treat it like a TV show. Give us two seasons for 2 and 3, finish out the arc. But at the same time, I know we saw the storyboards for what they had for 2 and 3, but isn't really the Snyder Cut effectively 2 movies anyway?
Kind of.
Because originally back in 2014, they announced that Zack Snyder was going to be directing Justice League Part 1 and Justice League Part 2, that those are going to be 2 movies. And then it wasn't until June 2016, when they were already in like 2 months into filming the movie, when Jeff Johns was like, no, it's going to be much lighter. It's going to not be, it's going to have a lot more optimism and hope in it. And it's also, then Snyder himself clarified that it was 1 movie. And it wasn't like Part 2 wasn't going to continue the story or going to be a direct sequel, that this was 1 movie, 1 standalone film. And I think and what we got 4 hours was 2 fucking movies. Let's be fair.
Would do you also, thinking about the Ann Sarnoff article, do you think if they are, like, going back to my theory about negotiating, something else Zach very much wants, based on his keeping the IMAX format, he wants to see these in theaters, and they said, we're not going to bring it to theaters, because they were,
they should bring it to theaters.
I know, but
damn it, I'd go and see
do you
it.
think that was another messing with Zach type situation, because they know he wants that? Like,
well,
no,
again, it's really about like what they allowed him to do, which was have full control, and they followed through with it, but we're also, movie theaters are just opening up around the country now. Now would be a good time, but this isn't like you can just call up your local theater and go, I want to put this movie in my IMAX screen now, right? Like, they have to book it and book it and book it. And they did this. This is where IMAX fucked up. Remember 2017 when the Inhumans show came out? IMAX actually was a co-sponsor of that. They co-produced it. They put in like $70 million because they thought that by taking Marvel television content and filming it in IMAX and putting up the first 2 episodes in IMAX, that it was going to be a lot of money, that they were going to make that Marvel money, and except it was shit. But they actually bumped another movie. I forget which one it was, but they bumped another movie in order to put the 2 first episodes of the Inhumans in IMAX for 2 weeks. So they have to book it, and because this is scheduling, it's all scheduling. And that becomes another issue as well. So Snyder Cut should come, but at this point, they probably wouldn't even be able to get it out there until like the end of the year. That's the thing. I've seen people talk about, like, I saw some guy say, and again, I'm not trying to be a dick about it, but this is the reality. I saw some guy on Twitter going off about how, like, movie theaters want the Snyder Cut, which is great. That's fantastic. And he's like, Warner's is just fucking over people left and right. They're not fucking giving them what they want. And I'm like, dude, that doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. A movie theater has a booker.
Well, movie theaters aren't exactly running like first run content right now. They're running movies like The Empire Strikes Back and a few indie movies here and there. All right, Max.
Thanks.
No, and you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But it takes time to do a rollout to 40-some hundred theaters. You know what I mean? Like, it takes time to do this, and this is something that's meant to be like their big streaming platform. This is
it
meant
would
to bring
probably
people
be
in.
If it were to hit the theaters, though, it would probably save movie theaters, because people would at least
I disagree.
Fans would see it. Well, I don't know. I think it would have a good chance of.
I think it will. Okay, so I think it would do well. Okay, I'm not saying it's going to do bad. I'm not saying it's going to flop, but saving theaters is a bit much. You know what I mean? Because it's like what you have is the vaccine rollout that's happening in a number of states. and it's not like a perfect situation. You know what I mean? So we're not
And
there yet.
we have the problem where there's another strain of it that because aren't they locking down about to lock down the UK again?
I'm not too sure. I think they got some stuff here. Now, Alvi here makes an interesting point. He says, if Disney can drop $150 million on WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier, why can't Warner Brothers drop the same on HBO Max? Money. There's 95 million Disney Plus subscribers right now. 95 million. At like, that's hundreds of, that's what? It's not $1 billion a month, but there's money there. And Marvel brings in money because the Falcon and Winter Soldier and WandaVision are part of the larger Marvel ecosystem, right? They're part of the MCU. This is where you can't really compare Marvel and DC because Marvel has put faith in their properties and DC kind of goes meh with it. So, and that's the problem. Like look, here's the thing, man. I want Snyder Cut in theaters. I was talking to my dad tonight. I'm like, I was like, oh yeah, I hear that they might be doing something in LA, like later on this year in October or some shit, where they're going to be going out there and having a big IMAX event for this. Like I heard someone mention it and I'm like, fuck, I would fly to LA for that. And my dad's like, yeah, sure, man. Cool. Like I would too, So like, if they're going to put it in theaters, if they're going to show it in IMAX, which they already did, by the way. So Warner Brothers set up a screening in IMAX because there's people who in LA who went to go see it. So it can happen. I think they're just waiting for the right time to do it. They want to see right now how it's going to impact HBO Max. The fact that they haven't come out and touted any numbers is
probably, again, we know about the civil war that's going on at that company. So I'm really not surprised they haven't come out with any numbers.
Well, I don't know, man. I think it's kind of ridiculous that they haven't said anything.
Yeah, it is. It's ridiculous, but it's ridiculous. But when we think about who we're dealing with, it's kind of like, well,
yeah. No, I know. It's like it just given how the company operates. Real quick, I got a couple super chats to get to here. Rational Skeptic here, $2. Thank you so much. Says, but why does Warner Brothers keep the Arrowverse around? I mean, Arrow is over. Legends of Tomorrow and The Flash are continuing on. Supergirl is over after this season. They're kind of running a lot of shows down. I know Superman and Lois just popped up and that's doing okay from what I hear, but they're going to start, I think, winding it all down, and moving a lot of it over to streaming. But how was it? The Arrowverse shows, they don't cost that much money. And they bring in a lot for CW. And that's sadly not saying much considering 1.5 million people is really good for CW. So it could just be now that after doing all of these shows, it's gotten to be too expensive because they shoot in Vancouver, British Columbia, and that ain't the cheapest city on the world. But they might be wanting to condense it down and maybe refocus on
plus now, because now they have all these now they have HBO Max and they want streaming is king. Streaming is where it is right now. So maybe the priority isn't really to keep dumping money into CW shows at this point.
Well, or they're going to co-produce them. Like Stargirl is a co-production, HBO Max as well as CW. And that makes sense, right? Like, I mean, again, like look at how bad they messed up Swamp Thing. Like Swamp Thing pissed off a lot of people because of how bad they screwed that up. And they really just need to I agree. Like they need to focus their content on like Doom Patrol and Titans and Harley Quinn, stuff that's edgier. DC works well in the edgy. It works well in the R-rated, more so than Marvel. And I think fans are looking for something that's an alternative to Marvel. They want something that's an alternative, not to say, because the thing is DC needs to not try to rival
that's what
Marvel.
That's what the powers that be keep missing. They keep missing the fact that DC has a more adult oriented platform with these characters, with the way these stories are written and the way things are set. So it's like they don't realize that if they simply embrace what they have, if they were to embrace the Snyderverse and embrace these other visions and these other creatives, they could do a lot and they could beat Marvel, but they don't value what they have. They keep chasing what they don't have.
Well, and that's the problem.
What
And that's
the biggest
and that's
problem.
and that's the executives. That's the executives.
Yeah.
You know, like because I just did the Podio commentary on Zack Snyder's Justice League, and you know, like I was researching it, and I probably don't have all the info, but you can tell that there was a massive shakeup at Warner's, and they were just trying to chase the money for one. That was Toby Emmerich and Tushihara were the ones going for their bonuses, those bastards. And, you know, so they fucked the whole thing up. And then, yeah, ever since then, everyone's been kind of fearful, I think, to keep going with it. Let's see here. $10 from Andrew. Thank you so much, Andrew Christie. Saying here, I love the Snyder Cut, but I think if Zack really had his way, it would have continued to be darker. Snyder Cut was his lighter direction that was requested by Warner Brothers post VBS, compromised all the way. I don't know how much of that. I mean, it was.
No, because he shot what Warner Brothers wanted, but he also shot what he wanted.
Yeah, and
what we got in this 4-hour version was what he wanted. We got what he wanted.
Yeah,
really
because remember how he framed the suit. The suit for Superman was that he was like, I want a black suit, and they're like, fuck your black suit.
No, they didn't want the black suit at all.
Because you couldn't. Because in their mind, they couldn't sell merch without. They needed to sell merch. And so, you know, he shot it in a way that where they could tweak it in post-production to have be black. And then in this case, what we found out was everything is all black anyway. It's all CG. So that suit that looks freaking amazing was all CG, you know? And so they added that in and they made it work. And that's kind of the whole point is like he was compromising in name only, really, because he was prepared to go toe to toe with the executives over all of these things he wanted to do.
Yeah, he even said as much in an interview that he had recently. Yeah.
And so I would argue that really what's going on here is that because again, the thing with Autumn, it just took the fight out of him, you know, and it took him, and so he.
Well, and you got to think about it, it's such an insignificant thing to be fighting over when you're dealing with something like that, when you're dealing with the death of your child. You're thinking of something like that. It's just petty nonsense. It's like, let them do what they want at that point. It's like, whatever.
It's definitely, like the executive branch over there is pretty god awful and
heartless. Yeah.
They should, and Andrew here does say good point, Zod. So he agrees with you on that one. Ryan, happy birthday. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. He just also said, I saw a comment here. Just watched your Podio commentary episode on the Snyder Cut. Great analysis as always. Thank you very much, man. I love writing those things. Those things are so much fun to write. Have you heard that? I know I pimp it a little bit, but have you heard that yet, Zod? Have you heard my Podio commentary?
I'm actually planning to listen to it though the next time I watch the Snyder Cut. So
the thing is, it's about how Justice League was made and then also how Snyder Cut was made. So it's a lot of like where it kind of developed and where it began and how it kind of came together. So it's not about like, and I even say in the episode, I'm like, this is not like a release a Snyder Cut episode. Like Sean's got his book, read that book. This is just about like the creation of it and getting it over the finish line. Like that's my focus on it is that kind of stuff. So it's more of just like a story. I try to frame it like a story, adding anecdotal stuff in there as well. I sat down last night. I got home. I wrote like almost 5,000 words in like 2 hours on this thing.
Awesome.
You know, I was like, I'm like, okay, I gotta get down for.
I'll definitely check it out, man, for sure.
Yeah, I just it's something I'm just trying to do for a lot of extra fun there. Okay, let's see here. So, all right, we got a few people in the back. We'll bring in Eddie for a couple minutes. Eddie, man, how's it going?
Not much. Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. I see you're in bed wearing your Pokemon shirt again. This is how you always come to my channels, Eddie. You always come wearing Pokemon.
Hey, I love Pokemon. What can I say? And besides, these are the only pajama. These are my pajama clothes as of like, these have just been my pajama
You're
clothes.
Like ever since 1997, those have been your pajama clothes. This is admit what it is.
1997. Yeah. Or you know what's funny? I had before that. Shut up, man. Before that, I had Pikachu pajama pants that actually had the number, I think it was 25 or 20 to mark like the 25th anniversary or something like that. At that time when I bought it. So I had those, and then unfortunately those ripped, so I had to throw them out. But I used to have those, and then I used to wear this like with that.
That's it's I wear a baby Yoda mask. when I go out, right? I wear this like cute little cartoon Baby Yoda mask. I get so much attention for wearing that thing. So what you should do is wear those Pikachu pants. Like try to wear them outside the house. It's like
Well, I don't
fishing
have
with
them anymore.
dynamite.
They're torn.
Well, go
I have
get
to buy
another
new
pair
ones.
on like eBay. Find them on eBay. Clean them real good. Clean them real good. And then wear them
Yeah.
outside the house and see if it's like fishing with dynamite. You'll be walking down the road. All of a sudden, like girls will be like, Pikachu pants.
Okay. Yeah.
And then you're
I
just
used
going
to
to
have-
get chased like a rock star.
Yeah, I have I do have a Charizard.
Thanks a lot,
I
Dave.
have a
Appreciate it, man.
Charizard hat.
You have a charge.
I have a Charizard hat. No, it's like literally, it's a hat with Charizard's eyes, and he has the little horn sticking out of the hat.
I never
I would get it, but I
were you
wouldn't
ever into Pokemon, Zod? Were you ever in the Pokemon? Do you ever get into that at all?
Never got into Pokemon. No, can't say I have.
For real?
It
Wow.
Never. Yeah, it just never appealed to me. I always I never understood the fascination, but I always was like, I always thought it was cool. You know, I have nieces and nephews, and who like that kind of stuff. So it was like, it's cool that you like it. It's cute stuff, but I never really got into it.
What about Power Rangers? So, have you ever got into Power Rangers?
No, my younger brother was into Power Rangers though.
What? Ah,
I'm more of a Voltron guy. I liked Voltron. as a
Voltron's
kid.
good. I love Voltron.
So
yeah.
Voltron, to me was like Power Rangers before Power Rangers. I had the ones where you'd put the lions together and you'd make make the big giant robot. That was what I was into as a kid.
Yeah, that I used
riveting
to have, I
stuff,
used to-
guys.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Totally. No, I used to have a lot of GI Joes when I was a kid, or Ninja
Oh,
Turtle
yeah,
toys.
you were
I had a
into
lot of those.
The GI Joes.
Oh, yeah. I still, to this day, if I can ever find a fucking Viper, man, I've never owned a Viper. Every time I came close to getting one, something always happened. It's just a Viper action figure. I don't know why. I've always wanted it. I've never had it. But I liked Pokemon when I was a kid. I actually went to the first showing of the movie, right? When the first movie came out. My friends and I, we ditched school like the second half of the day, and we drove over to the theater, and we were like the only people there who weren't children with their parents, and it's just like nothing but young kids and their parents who were drugged to this film. And my buddy Oleg, his sister worked at a flea market, and they had a whole bunch of those little chocolate bottles full of alcohol with the shots of alcohol in them. And he was all like, "Hey guys, let's watch the movie." So we sat there during this movie and we just bit off the tops of these bottles of booze and like just, chugged back a shot of tequila or whatever the fuck was in there, and just got messed up during the movie. And then I had to wait to sober up in order to drive when it was over. Cause it's a really short movie. And the news is good. It was good. But then the news was there. And I was on the news, and I'm just, my face is flush, and you can clearly see that I'm inebriated, and that was a lot of fun. But I'll say this: did you see the new one that came out last year? The Pokemon, they remastered it, the Evolution.
You're talking to me, right?
Yeah.
No, actually, it's still on Netflix, so I haven't got a chance to watch it, but I actually want to get a chance to watch it for comparison purposes.
It was bad. The animation was good, but they messed with some of the story elements of it, and it just came across as like I hated it.
Was that
the original? It was mostly a copy and paste, but it was like some things were different, and I didn't like it at all. I'm not the only one either. But that was, again, that's what I grew up watching, was like those movies and stuff.
I don't know. You can go back even further and watch like Kamen Rider and all that stuff, and that kind of
Kamen Rider's good. I actually like
kind of
Kamen
tied
Rider.
in with and that's been around forever, and it's cool.
75, I think, yeah.
Yeah,
I never.
I will
That's
say this, no, go ahead. Matt, sorry.
Japanese.
Tokusatsu, yeah, that's what they call it.
I've heard of it. I've never watched it.
it's
I
some
wanted
cool
to.
stuff.
I wanted to add this real quick before I get to my question real quick. Do you remember, Matt, like when Pokemon the first movie was coming out and they were promoting it, Burger King used to sell these Pokeballs, and when you open it, it came with a gold medal card. Like it was really like
Mhm.
gold, like solid gold.
I have two of them.
You still have them?
Somewhere, I believe I do. Yeah,
Ah, damn it! Because
I'm pretty sure I do. I had Togepi, and I had another one. I think Togepi and Jigglypuff were the two that I had.
Mewtwo was the one that I used to have.
That's the one I wanted. I felt ripped off. Like fucking Jigglypuff. I don't want.
I should have one of those. That would have been that's like worth over hundreds of dollars now on eBay. But like that thing,
if I could find them,
so
they're
cool.
here somewhere. I don't throw away that kind of crap. You know what I mean? Like that's the kind of stuff you look at and you're like, this will one day be worth money. This will one day, get me laid. I'm gonna have
pop rockers.
Yeah.
Well, if you find them, Matt, you can always DM me on Twitter and just with pictures and stuff, and I can always take a look at them.
Sure, if I could find, it's possible that I gave them away too. Like I know I had two of them. I know I had them. I have to go and look through my storage to see if I have them anymore. I'm pretty sure I don't get rid of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
Pikachu still rocks.
Yeah, well, it's like when I went to my very first E3 back in 2000. This is when they were giving away swag. Back when they still gave it away. And when I was 18 years old and I'm walking through LA and I have like two big bags, like shopping bag, like those department store bags, right? Full of shit. I don't remember like nothing. None of it was like, there's some t-shirts in there, some little shit. And I'm like walking through fucking like East LA and shit like that, holding this crap. Cause I'm trying to like get to the Greyhound station, and like, just again, it was just like nothing, this is a reason why when I go to conventions, I don't take anything. You know what I mean? I treat it like I'm fucking camping. All right. I'm like, no, nothing gets taken out. All gets left there. That kind of shit. Anyway, so what's your quick question? Because there are some more people that want to get in.
Yeah, no worries. No, my quick question was, I know you don't trust Daniel RPK, and I trust me, I'm with you on that. But
I have good reason, but yeah.
Yeah, no, dude, the motherfucker tried to blackmail you. Come on.
Yeah,
but
and like no one cares. That's my favorite thing about that too. Like literally, this one guy on Twitter keeps tweeting it to people who are responding to Daniel RPK, and like not one of them care that he legitimately attempted to blackmail me over light criticism. Like Jesus fucking Christ, it's so funny. The tribalism of this fucking game, dude. I swear. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, but no. Yeah, sorry. I had.
You just have that on hand. You just had to pull it out. Is this in your Tinder profile? This should be in your Tinder profile.
I don't have Tinder.
You should right now get on Tinder and make that your profile and be like, Eddie, I'll Charizard your world, baby. You can find some Pokemon girls.
Yeah, I'll be like, hey girl, hey Charizard, I choose you, and I'll just and there's
That's
my
true. I did. See the comment here? Jarbo had his gang of child thieves get him Pokemon cards. That is somewhat accurate.
Wow.
I did not know that they were child thieves.
Yeah, but anyway, so like, what are your thoughts on him posting like his scoop saying that Ben Affleck would be down for more Batman after Flash?
I mean, at this point in time, it's like I think anyone could come to that conclusion. And who else is? I think like Mikey Sutton has said it. And I know, I mean, Daniel is Steel Scoops.
Mikey
that's my
more than Daniel. So.
Well, my opinion is that Daniel RPK Steel Scoops. That's my opinion, and everything else. So I would argue that because what he does is he puts it behind his Patreon paywall, and then someone like Comic Book Resources or comicbook.com, whatever, they pick it up and they go like exclusive coming to you from Daniel RPK's Patreon. Ben Affleck wants to do more fucking Batman.
Water wet at this point.
Yeah,
right?
it's like, are you kidding me? Like all of a sudden now, like he was Batman, and in 2013, everyone was like, "Fuck Affleck is Batman." Like a lot of people were, not me, because I was hip to it. And then everyone sees BVS in 2016, and they're like, "Fuck me, that Batman was amazing. My God, did you see that shit?" And then everyone's like, Justice League, they love Batman, right? And then even now, it's all like Ben Affleck. People want more Ben Affleck as Batman. It's like even when he quit, when he retired, people were legitimately upset. It's like, yeah, fuck, dude, come on, he clearly wants to do more.
Because it's like, like when I saw the thing, I was like, oh my god, like man, let me read more of this. Then when I found out it was coming from Daniel RPK, I'm like, oh, come on, really? And it's just weird. I mean, look, I want it to be true. I hope it becomes true. I mean, if the Flash is successful enough, just like the Snyder Cut was, I don't want to say as successful as a Snyder Cut, but like a little bit up there. And I wouldn't be surprised if Ben Affleck does have a change of heart and say, hey, you know, I would like to come back for a couple more appearances. And hey, if we do Justice League 2 and 3, if that ever happens, do that
Well,
to complete my arc and then leave.
The thing is, though, it's like he's not getting any younger, which is
No,
true.
of course not. That's what I'm saying. Like,
So they got to act quick, yeah. But I mean, like, look at him now, how he is physically now. You know, he could
looks
get
great.
back in some shape. He looks very good. He could easily get back into some shape in order to make this thing work. Joe Manganiello, like, I'm probably mispronouncing his name. I can never say it
I
correctly.
mean, he is Joe is amped.
Yeah, I like him
more.
a lot,
Totally.
yeah.
I love that guy. I love the way
Sofia Vergara
posts
must be
on,
gushing right now
Twitter.
looking at them pictures.
I mean, that's her man. Yeah, that's her man.
Yeah.
She,
I'm like
you
lucky.
know,
I'm like lucky.
she's like, I'm
bastard.
gonna climb that like Mount Rushmore. Just
He's like, oh, look at that. I want to get some of that right now. Or I can't do a good impression of Sophia.
that is not a good impression, sir. That sounds like you. No,
whatever,
I'm-
man.
I'm not even
I
going to
think
make the
better
joke. I
impressions
don't want to get canceled again. But I would say, yeah, like I would hope that he would want to come back. I mean, there's been a lot of talk about it. Warner's can't deny it. They have to, you know, at some point they have to just consider that they have to just probably make their way through this. But look, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be as pragmatic as humanly possible on it. That's my nature. I have to do it, you know. So I mean, hopefully we'll you know, and Rel here says Ben looked great in that Martian Manhunter scene. Yeah.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
even when Martian Manhunter came at the end, and he was like, you know, I have a stake in this world, and it's time I started fighting for it. I'm like, give me Justice League 2. We just got another fucking member of the team.
Well, yeah, that was the thing. Like, you know, how many cliffhanger endings were there for that movie? Really?
there was 3, right?
There was more endings. There was more endings in that movie than fucking Return of the King, you know? And like, but they all set up more stuff. And you know, it's just so, I mean, but then again, Zach had said that the studio did not want him to shoot anything else, and he went and he did it anyway.
Right.
So remember, because even like certain people that I won't mention by name, because I'm told to ignore them.
But you know
they have
what? I
said,
will say. Oh no, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
oh no, they said, you know, oh no, there's going to be no more, you know, no additional photography, blah blah blah. Warner's just wants it done over, blah blah blah. You know, so
I think Jason Kilar is gonna eventually come out and try to not say anything, but like do something because he's listening to the fans. Because like
he's
a
listening
big
to the
fan
fans,
of
but he's potentially gonna need to be pushed. And I say that in
yeah,
a
that's what I'm
gentle
saying.
way,
Like,
in a
something's gonna
lovingly
have to like
gentle way.
really push him.
Yeah, like tickle the balls
Yeah.
sort of, you know, sort of way. Just real gentle.
Yeah, but you know what? Real quick before I go, I saw the Snyder Cut for like a second time, but I watched it with my mom, and she likes the superhero movies, but she's not like too crazy about them because she's outgrown them. You know, she's about 60 years old and stuff. But I watched the Snyder Cut and I showed it to her, and she fucking loved it. She loved it, and she's not one to watch movies that are like 4 hours long or even 3 hours long. But we made it in her little schedule to watch. Because what we did was we watched the first 2 chapters, then we stopped and we watched a little bit of The Crown because she was also watching that simultaneously, which is a good show. And then we went back, watched the other 2 chapters, watched The Crown again, and then we finished the rest. And she loved it. She was not falling asleep. She was not bored. Sure, her eyes were like literally like this the whole time. I'm like, wow. To think this is the Snyder Cut can have that effect on normies that are not into superheroes and stuff. That's telling you something.
Thanks, Jack.
And I would not.
No,
I'm just
I
happy.
get you. My dad was the same way. My dad said he didn't realize at the time that the 4 hours flew by. So, you know, he wasn't bored by it. He really liked it. And, you know,
And that's what it felt like. Yeah.
so yeah, I mean, like, for me, my only complaint was it took me forever to finish the goddamn thing because I kept getting distracted. I was like, I just want to go to the fucking movie, God damn it. So there is
Well,
that.
one of the best things about the movie is the fact that it doesn't feel like 4 hours. I mean, and that's
It doesn't.
that's great.
doesn't. It's pretty good.
Beautiful.
It's like, hey, this is the movie we should have gotten, but Warner's, you know, did some stuff and they said some things, and I won't use the terminology I want to use. But all right, Eddie, thanks for coming on in, man. We'll let you go. and have yourself a good night. Get on
And
Tinder.
happy birthday.
Get on Tinder. You'll
Tinder
slay with that hat.
Tinder
Dude.
with that hat.
You'll
That's
slay with that
awesome.
hat. You'll do it. Trust me. The chat agrees. By the way, one guy said
Don't
you'll be
do that.
fending off. You'll be fending off chicks with a stick with that hat on.
Pow pow.
Yeah,
I'll
pop and
slide
lock,
on fire
dude.
in this, yeah.
To say you spit fire from your groin.
Zod, I have to also like come by your channel because I've been missing out on you a lot, and we're both friends on Facebook.
Yeah, definitely, man. We're gonna have to get you on the Zod Rider show sometime, man. Definitely.
Yeah, and let me know. I'm definitely game. I mean, we're on Twitter too. You can always DM me.
All right, gotcha, man.
All right. Thanks a lot, Eddie, man. Have yourself a good one,
All right,
dude.
man.
Thank
Happy
you very
birthday.
much. Thank you again. Bye. I like having the open call-ins. We got a couple more people
That's awesome.
that are, you just drop the link, man. People come on in. They have their own opinions. It's nice. It's
That's what I always like to do on my show. I always like to include the link if it's an open panel thing. It's so much fun. I love it.
yeah. But I'll tell you this, my own personal pet peeve are people that like load up like 9 people in the StreamYard. And then it's like, you're like, what the fuck did anyone say? What did, like it's so much. I like to keep it like minimal to have a
Right.
conversation. All right. We got Benjamin. How's it going, dude?
Hey Matt, happy birthday. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I had a very caffeinated beverage very late at night. So that was
Nice.
my own. It was a free coffee. That's what took me so long to get back home. I decided to go like 2 towns away to go get it. And then I got stuck
Starbucks
in
or Pete's or
Dutch
some-
Bros. Dutch Bros.
Okay, never
Yeah.
never heard of that.
It's I don't know if it's like a local Northwest chain or whatever, but they have this thing called Starry Night, and it's like 2 Red Bulls, and like it's like a blue raspberry and like a blackberry Red Bull, and they mix it together, and it's like, this is gonna fuck me up.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
okay with
wow.
that. I have
so-
one more in my fridge because they weren't checking IDs. I just rolled up and I was like, it's my birthday, and they're like, here you go.
That's the best thing you could have if you're planning to do a late night birthday live stream, bro.
Yeah. Well, it's like it's Saturdays are also kind of like my sleep-in day a little bit too, so I get a little bit more sleep on Saturdays. But we'll have to wait and see. I have some family that are like, we want to come over tomorrow and see the kids. I'm like, okay.
That was so nice of them. Do they do that a lot to patrons, Dutch Bros?
Yeah. I mean, they're supposed to put on the app, right? Because like there's an app now and everything, and they don't even check ID. You could literally roll up, just go like, "What's going on? It's my birthday." And they're like, "Cool." Like what? Like I get free coffee all the time. Like
Wow.
there's no incentive to tell the truth. There's no incentive to not. And the thing is, everyone wears a mask. I got like 50 different fucking masks. I just wear a different mask every single time. Although I'll tell you this though, there's this thing I go to that does they give away free diapers, right? Like for kids. So we use it because diapers are pretty freaking expensive, and it's a free service. And but I wear this Fallout hoodie, And so the guy the other day was all like, I pull on up and this guy goes like, "Hey man," oh what the fuck, got stuck. He's like, "Oh, I like your hoodie." I said, "Oh thanks." He's like, "What's your favorite Fallout game?" I'm like, "The first one." And he goes, "Oh, that was a fun one. I prefer the second." I'm like, "Oh, where you can get married and pimp out your wife?" And he's all like, "You have played it. Okay." So it ends up being this so now I can't wear this hoodie because he's going to recognize me. And we have that kind of connection. So he'll be like, "Oh, you're the Fallout guy." I'm like, fuck. Can't look back around, put on a different mask and try it again. This
Matt
is the problem.
Fallout Jarbo.
Yeah, well, hey, I get a lot of compliments on this particular hoodie, so I'm very happy with it. But
Oh, it's a great one.
let's see here. Rel says, Jarbo mixing those two might cause you to buy another plunger afterward. No, sir. My plunger is plastic, and it's inexperienced. Anyway, sorry. Do you know the plunger story, right, Zod?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But the plunger guy himself is in here, so that's good. All right, so Ben, what's your question, man?
No. So last time I was on one of your streams, you recommended me a bunch of stuff that I have checked out. Finally, I watched all the Imagination Land episodes of South Park. Yeah, Godzilla King of Monsters was amazing, as you promised.
It was like sex. It was like sex.
It was. It was. Millie Bobby Brown is incredible. So good that I watched all of Stranger Things over the past weekend.
Nice. I love that show. I absolutely love that show.
My one complaint with that show is that it's like the editing can get really choppy at times. Like they're focusing on one group of characters and then they'll go to another group right as it's like it gets a bit.
Oh yeah, like season 2 when between episodes I think 6 and episode 7, when like 6 ends on that cliffhanger, like that massive cliffhanger, and then it just cuts to an episode about 7 in Chicago.
Yeah.
And you're all like, what? What
It
the
felt
fuck?
like a CW episode.
I'm sorry, what?
It felt like an episode of like a CW show, like the way
It did. You can cut that episode out, and like the season doesn't diminish as a
It
result
also
of
reminded
that.
me of that episode of The Mandalorian where it goes on like this side trip with a what's his face, the Bill Burr's character and his gang for the first time.
No, the heist episode, the prison break episode. I love that episode, man. I love
but
that episode.
the way it was sandwiched in between, like.
Well, yeah, but it was sandwiched in between, but it had a payoff in season 2. You know,
Right.
So it still had a payoff in season 2, whereas we haven't seen this other was number 3, whatever her name was.
8 or something.
Yeah, I forget which one she was. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, no, I get what you mean. So I'm glad you're watching some more stuff. I feel like I've been bad. I feel like I'm bad because I've only watched the Snyder Cut once. That's all I have time for. I don't have time. I just don't have it. But I've watched like
you'll figure it out. You put it on your phone.
I've got kids, so I've watched like my daughters have been on like a Shrek kick all week. So I've watched all 4 Shrek movies. A lot.
Which was the best one?
The best Shrek movie is number 2.
How's 4?
4 is actually really good. 3 was never my favorite. But 4 was good because it was like Shrek going through a midlife crisis. You know, like that's the whole point with like, if you look at the concept of the Shrek movies, they're like generally all about like identity and life. You know, they're also very raunchy. Surprisingly, there's a lot of jokes in there that are definitely aimed at kids that are not aimed at kids. Like in number 2, when they get arrested and they have them mock up like it's the show Cops, but it's called Knights. And like they find catnip on Puss in Boots, and then they find fucking they use ground pepper on Shrek as mace. You know, so it's like little gags like that are really funny. But I enjoy those movies quite a bit. I guess there's supposed to be a 3rd one here at some point in time, or a 5th one.
Really?
Yeah, like I've seen IMDb listings for it. I have no idea if it's true or not. I know Puss in Boots 2 is coming out next year. They just announced that's coming out in 2022. And I did like, but this is the thing. Puss in Boots 1 came out in 2011. And Puss in Boots 2 is coming out 11 years later in 2022. The fuck? Like, that's a long time. That's a real long time.
All the kids are going to be like, who's that again?
Yeah. Antonio Banderas might be dead by the time the 3rd one comes out.
How old is he?
He's in his 60s, I believe. Let's see. Antonio Banderas.
I thought he was like younger. I thought he was like 40 or something.
No. Let's see. He is 60. Okay. Yeah, because 25 years ago or 26 years ago he did Desperado, and then of course he followed that up with like The Mask of Zorro and stuff. I like Antonio Banderas, so.
Oh, he's cool. I do want to ask you about. Oh, never mind.
Sorry. Rail here says, how long will it take for people to cancel Puss in Boots because of the name for the kid? I think it will be fine. But the porn parodies are going to be very funny.
How many porn parodies were the first one? I'm not familiar with that.
I'm making a joke. I have no idea. Now I'm going to Google it because you've asked that question. Puss in Boots porn parody. Let's see here. All right. Puss in Boots porn videos. First thing pops up is a Pornhub.com. And it's just your standard Pornhub.com page. Lots of sex. Although that's disgusting. Someone very hairy genital warts. Oh no, I don't even want to look at that. Oh my god.
Puss and boots, Lola Bunny porn.
This is what fucking happens.
That's
This
too
is
much.
it's too much shit. Anyway, I'm just saying it's
That's just so too much. Like, wow.
I always enjoy trying to take it to that uncomfortable level because I think it's really funny. That's and people who dip out, they always seem to miss it. But all right, Ben. So I got a lot of people still to get to, man. I'm gonna what's your quick question, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask about. So I was reading the article where they were saying that Zack had to cut Green Lantern out of Justice League, and I thought that was 2017, but then I did some further reading, and I guess it was for the Snyder cut.
He shot a scene. He actually shot a scene with Green Lantern, and
for the Snyder cut.
For the Snyder cut. Well, it was shot. He shot it in his. He actually shot it in his backyard, and Warner Brothers told him that he couldn't use that scene.
That's ridiculous to me, because like they've already said, A, Snyder cut is a dead end. B, they said we're doing the multiverse stuff, which means the audiences are smart enough to understand that this is not going to be the same Green Lantern as another Green Lantern. And if they're already giving and if the Snyder cut is already taking the thunder away from every other DC property on the horizon, like I just don't get why they would put up a fight. I mean, I thought the whole point of the Snyder cut was to give him total creative freedom to do whatever the heck he wanted.
But in context of what he shot, that's the whole point.
Okay.
So I'm reading the article right here. I didn't know this. Apparently he had shot John Stewart, and they were like, no. And then, so he made him Martian Manhunter. So,
Right.
And okay, so that makes some sense. So there's that. I get that a little bit. I think Rel here asks, do y'all think that Zack will ever release the Green Lantern scene? I don't think so. We might get a picture, maybe. But here's the reason why. The Green Lantern stuff, we know that Green Lantern Corps is coming to HBO Max. So that's a crossover situation that they didn't want to deal with. That's the reality of it. They just did not want the character crossover, despite the multiverse.
And of course, they were not counting on the Snyder cut being as big of a deal as it is too. That's something that they,
Yeah, I think they expected
underestimating.
I just want that hard data, man. I just want to know. I want to know how many people beamed it directly into their eyes. That's what I want to know at this point, is how many people did. But I mean, look, the thing is, Zack, he wanted to make it the best version of it that it could be. And the truth is he did, and so the whole zero compromise thing, I don't think that's as true, but there was as much on the no compromising as he could. And the thing is, he got the control, and he gave us something that we like, and so, yeah, there's always going to be stuff that gets cut out of these movies, and there's always going to be stuff that doesn't make it in. And I mean, look at the "We Live in a Society" line from the trailer wasn't in the movie. Is anyone creating petitions to get that put back in? Where's the "We Live in a Society" cut?
To be fair, there were articles out there claiming that line was going to be included in the Justice is Gray black and white edition of the movie. But
was it?
I don't. No.
Okay. Was there extra stuff that was shown in there that I haven't watched it yet?
And that's the other thing. There were tons of articles there that were released, and this can be independently verified. I'm not just talking out of my nose.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of articles where they're talking about the Justice is Gray edition, saying we're going to see more of Jared Leto's Joker, that the "We Live in a Society" line is going to get put back into the film. All these things, because of some cryptic things that Zack Snyder said, that these quote unquote journalists took and ran with, and it turned out not to be the case. So I'm not only did we not get any more than what we got in the first cut of Zack Snyder's Justice League, but there was no "we live in a society." That line was not included. So I feel like we can't take anything that any of these people publish as truth because they don't know what they're talking about. Only Zach knows what he's doing, what he's not doing, and even when he says it, is he gonna play along with these people and troll them every once in a while? Sure, why not? If I was him, I would. I mean, because they're so they made all these assumptions about what the black and white edition was going to include, and it's not a second longer than the theatrical cut. It's the same, well, not theatrical cut, but the initial HBO Max release of the Snyder cut. So
yeah,
I mean, I get confused when I read all these articles now. It's like you go in and you read it, and they actually mention in there, "Oh yeah, the "we live in a society" line is going to be restored, and this and that and this." That was an ad lib for a trailer. It wasn't meant.
Was there? I mean, yeah, like I haven't heard of anything new being added. I thought.
No,
I don't even know. I mean,
I even said it on the stream. I'm like, oh yeah, they're saying that we're going to get more Leto scenes. They're saying we're getting this, and I'm thinking in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, but if they're doing that, that's essentially a separate cut, and if it's going to have all this new stuff, it's going to have to be slightly longer, at least by a couple minutes, to the original version Snyder cut that came out. And it just came out not too long ago. So why would they put out a separate cut that's longer so soon after that version?
Yeah. Well, so getting back to the real quick, getting back to the whole cinema release, theatrical release of the Snyder cut. Zach did say that Warner Bros. Has given him a handful of charity screenings. So he says, as we go forward, I'm going to do a handful of charity screenings, a couple in color, a couple in black and white. That's my plan. As we head towards the fall, the idea would be to do an IMAX weekend where we would do Man of Steel, BVS, and Justice League as sort of a 3-day event and try to get as many people who made the movie and the cast and whoever will help us out as a huge charity event, kind of a huge kind of fan gathering with cosplay and the whole, like a real celebration of the whole thing. So that's going to be coming into the end of the year. So that's something worth looking into when that comes out.
That
yes,
would be amazing.
So that's a trip to Los Angeles for me.
Wow. You should vlog if you have.
Yeah. I'll pull out my my Osmo pocket and like just walk around LA like, hi, what's going on, everyone? Have you guys ever seen this thing? This thing's fucking dope, dude. It's a gimbal. It's a drone camera. Yeah.
Dr. Jarbo.
Look at this. Fucking. I can turn it around. Whoa, shit.
Can it tell your temperature too?
It's not a rectal thermometer, but not yet. Anything. We never know what's going to come out of China. So you never know. But no, I shoot a bunch of little things with this one. But all right, well, hey Benjamin, I'm gonna let you go, man. I'm gonna keep it moving. But thank you very much for coming on, and we'll talk soon, all right, man?
By the way, is that the flash running in on the background, in the bottom left hand corner? Just noticing that this streak just.
Oh no, it's the Cinematograph of Los Angeles.
Oh, ha ha ha.
That is very terrible that I haven't updated because I'm lazy.
All right, man.
But yeah.
Sure. Happy birthday once again.
Thank you very much, sir. Have a good one, man. Thank you. All right. Let's see. Who did I have up next? I had up. Okay. All right. Anna, what's going on? How you doing?
Hello. It's almost 4 a.m, but
I'm fucking aware of what time it is. I don't need you to remind me what time.
Yeah. Hey, look. I decided to come here and support you and ask you a fucking question. So that's what I'm.
All right.
So
ask the question.
So I guess
no, we're friends.
Question.
So.
Yeah. No, we get to talk shit on each other. It's fine. So of all the main Justice League cast, who do you want to see get another movie done well the most?
Batman. Just Batman. Maybe Wonder Woman, just because Wonder Woman 84 was so, not
mediocre.
Good. It was sad. I'm going to defeat fucking Maxwell Lord with love. Like, but Ares
Yeah.
got fucked
you know,
up.
I was half expecting like the Care Bears to just start coming out of the walls in that movie. I just had this.
That's why
I
I
don't know.
specified done well, because I knew if I just said which one would you want to see get another sequel, that you wouldn't
always
say
Batman.
Wonder Woman.
It's always Batman.
Yeah, Batman.
But
Yeah,
no,
I
but
don't know,
really,
because-
I liked Wonder Woman in the Snyder Cut a lot, and that's
yeah,
the kind
she
of
was-
Wonder
Yeah,
Woman I
was
want
great.
to see
you
going
gotta
forward.
love Warrior Diana for real.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
who doesn't?
Yeah, Zack Snyder's picture of Wonder Woman is just absolutely great.
A lot of women out there really seem to like his how he portrays the character. What the fuck happened with Wonder Woman 84? I'll never know.
I have
Like-
no idea, because like the first Wonder Woman was great. People loved it.
Yeah,
Well, remember, Zack Snyder was heavily involved in the first Wonder Woman.
Very true.
but he
Wonder.
also did. Well, I love the argument. Didn't he produce Wonder Woman 84?
Name only.
Yeah, I know. People
Oh.
don't understand how like producing credits generally like they're not.
It can
as,
mean jack shit. Yeah.
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 That's the whole thing. I know Ryan Hartwell here says Huey Lewis. That's the power of love. Yeah, that's how that movie should have ended. I just
That
it should-
song should have been used for the whole finale with Maxwell Lord. I would have liked the movie better.
if it would have had. Oh, you mean if it would have had more than one track from the 1980s,
Yeah.
more than one song? How do you do a movie set in the 1980s and have like no 80s music?
I think the most 80s music they had was in that I think it was like with that nightclub scene.
Yeah. Also the
she-
trailer, because it had Orgies Blue Monday, and that's like an iconic song. So
Yeah.
where was that in the movie? Oh, yeah. It's not hard to make the 80s sound like the 80s.
Yeah, it shouldn't
That's
be that
very
hard
true.
for Hollywood to pander. They do it all the time, right?
Yeah.
So
Like, how do we pander back to a generation, like to a half generation ago, and everyone can't seem to get the fuck over? Oh, I know, music.
yep, everyone loves.
But that,
those
well,
fucking
the thing
80s
is,
tracks.
music rights cost a lot more than a lot of other shit. So that's another factor that gets kind of messed up in this whole situation. But yeah. All right, man. So I know I'm trying to shuffle through everyone tonight. I know I don't
All right.
want to cut you short. Do you have anything
You have a
else
good
you want
night.
to talk about real quick, or?
No, that's all I really wanted to ask you guys. You guys have a good evening, and thanks for
All
having me
right.
on.
Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it. We'll talk soon, buddy. You know that.
See ya.
All right, later. Anna helps me out quite often with Boulder Talk Radio, so we
Awesome.
that's a whole different bag of dicks. You know, that whole podcast is just a whole different world. Trust me, listen to an episode and you'll be like, "Oh wow, Matt, wow, holy shit." All right, we got Skywalker Brian. What's going
Matt-
on, Skywalker
Matt-
Brian?
Matt, first of all, happy birthday, brother! And
Thank you very much.
I was trying to do a $10 super chat, but it was not letting me. Yeah, I was having
Yeah,
some error.
I don't know how that. Sometimes it's YouTube, man.
Yeah.
You know,
I just figured it's like, well, you've been friends for a while, so I just figured I want to give something back for your hard work and your contribution for what you do for the channel. So
thank you.
yeah. So anyways,
I can give you my PayPal link if you'd like, or I have a Cash App.
well, yes, that could work too.
I never fucking know how to handle that.
Yeah.
It's such a weird, like, even like, here's the thing, even my own dad tonight was like, I got you a gift, and it's a gift card. And I love my dad for it, but it's like, he's like, I don't know
Gift
if I
cards
should
are
get
nice.
you, he's like, I don't know if I should get you a gift card or cash. And I'm just like,
Well, I was saying, Matt, like I could send you.
can I take this to the pot shop?
I could send you a Disney gift card for something for like Shop Disney.
That's a little bit too specific.
Yeah.
Because I think we're planning a trip to Disney World in like 2024.
Yeah,
We're planning that. So that's maybe then, maybe 2024, I'll be 42. So maybe like around that time.
Well, actually, because I don't want to like overdo the topic, but that news yesterday they dropped for yesterday for Disneyland. Holy shit!
With them expanding outward.
Yeah, the expanding outward, the proposal with the city of Anaheim and everything. That was huge news.
Well, they have no choice. I mean,
Yeah.
like they can't expand any further. Zod, have you ever actually been to Disneyland?
Not since I was a child.
It's a lot different now.
Hell of a lot different.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
I went in 2019 when I was in Southern California for a week and a half.
Yeah.
And it's all, I mean, I still really like it.
Mhm.
But I just don't see the point at this point of going anymore, you know, because I've kind of seen and done everything. And even with the Avengers Campus, which is something I do really want to see,
Mhm.
and Galaxy's Edge, which I actually really liked.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you have to just like you know, pick and choose your time to go. But if they're going to be expanding across the road, right?
Yeah,
They're
no,
gonna-
they're expanding like all these different parking, like they're like the Pixar Pals parking lot, the Simba parking lot, and everything. That's place that has been used for years and everything. So basically, like I said, I don't want to like overgo because I want to get to my question real. Yeah. So basically, it's like this contract that Disney and Anaheim they had this contract since the 90s. So what they're trying to do is that they're trying to like get rid of that old contract because they went through two proposals. They went through in the 90s. They tried to do the Westcott proposal, the Eastern Gateway proposal in 2017. And well, guess what? Disney and Anaheim don't like each other, and because they said due to political, whatchamacallit, differences, they decided, well, now this COVID screwed it up now. So let's say, here, because they're the biggest employer in the state of California. So, I mean, maybe.
So they're kind of swinging their dick around, basically.
Yeah,
is what you're trying to
pretty
say.
much. Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much. Yeah.
Well, I get that. I mean, Disney, like, and this is under Chapek, who is a parks
Yeah.
guy. So he's going to be coming on in there, and he's just going to be trying to get whatever he can get.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's true. Disney is the largest employer, and they, they bring a lot into that area, and
Yeah.
it's a staple of Southern California. You can never get away from it. Trust me.
Yeah.
And I get it. The explanations have to happen. I mean, but the thing is, though, look, when it comes to theme parks, and Zod, maybe you'll agree with me or not, interactivity is going to be the key going forward. Like these kind of very immersive, interactive events.
Yeah.
This is why.
Yeah, it's got to be an experience.
Yeah, this is why as soon as I can figure out like how to get to Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser, I'm going to go to that thing.
Yeah.
Like, and I've talked to like Star Wars Only, the other YouTuber, and we've chit chatted about like splitting the cost and sharing a room. Like I've never met this dude. He's like 22 years old. I'd be 40 by the time I get to go. And I'm like, hey, let's go bunk in this fucking Star Wars immersive experience.
Wow.
Like, I don't care. I would do it.
That'll be an awesome bonding experience, bro.
People are calling it in the theme park fan. They're calling it looks like a prison.
Don't care. You could throw me in with a fucking Rancor. I'd be like, let's do it. Like let's give me an out. We'll figure it out. Like give me an escape room with a Rancor. I'd be very happy.
I mean, Galaxy's Edge is like, it's evolving with Mando and with those older properties. So
as it needs to.
Yeah. I mean, I could see it also with Ahsoka coming out the pipeline. I mean, maybe
they screwed up so badly by tying that into the sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
But it is cool. Like you go there and like you got the Millennium Falcon, and like the first time I saw the Millennium Falcon, like the full 2-scale size, I was blown away by it. I was so happy. But then on the other side, you've got the Imperial or the First Order ship, and like you got that whole display, which is really cool. And then you got a full size X-wing on the other side. And it's like there's a lot of cool shit there, but it's like it didn't feel like there was no C-3PO, no R2-D2. You had Chewbacca and Rey, and that was cool, but it's like, and then you had like that one woman who is like the agent in Batuu. They've written a book about her.
Yeah,
I forget her name.
Her name's V.
Yeah. And so they have all that, right? They have all that stuff. And then but that's you go in, and I did a video on this a long time ago about about how they were trying to rip off the 500 first. You ever hear about this?
Yeah, I think I heard not too much about it. Yeah, was it the was it as all based on Vader's fist?
No. It's the old thing. It's I think it's like the 709, right? It's the 709. Yeah. And so in the First Order, you've got the 709th Division, and that's, or like whatever, and that's supposed to be very similar to like the 501st.
Yeah.
So they have an entire First Order like shopping depot, right? It's like a supply depot, and you go inside, and it's all this First Order merchandise, which is pretty cool because I like the design of the First Order. It's a little bit too futuristic overall, but I don't mind it. I still prefer the rigid aspect of the Empire. But you go and you find like hats, keychains, mugs, shirts, it's like says 709. I'm like, wait, they're pimping all of this merch.
Yeah.
And the only place that 709 exists is in the comic books. Like really, other than that, it's never in the movies. It's never brought up, and it feels like they're trying to capitalize on the 501st.
Yeah.
Charitable actions like that. They're so popular. It just seems like such a weird thing to do.
Yeah. And And it's also weird too because also they're introducing some of the video games too. They just introduced Cal's lightsaber hilt from the Fallen Order.
Yeah, they got
Yeah.
that in there. I'll tell you the coolest thing about that though was, and this goes to show you the planning was all of Cal's. What was it? You could actually like it was something. Oh yeah. So in Galaxy's Edge, all the pieces that they had for the hilt for the lightsaber you could get were all in Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah,
And so you could actually like customize
the saber
your
you want.
hilt, your saber to look like the one that you got in Galaxy's Edge in the video game.
Yeah.
And that came out like months after the release or the opening of Galaxy's Edge.
That's some cool stuff, man.
That was cool. Like that kind of immersion was actually really cool.
Yeah.
And it never got a lot of play. It never got a lot of discussion. I think the only person I saw really talking about it was Star Wars Explained. But like,
Yeah.
a lot of, but that kind of like connectivity is exactly what fans want.
Yeah.
Like that's exactly what they're after. Because if you can sit there and go to Galaxy's Edge and then make your saber and then come home and like make it in a game, oh dude.
Yeah.
That-
it
that's some
really
good shit.
it really goes to show like how theme parks and movies it's pretty much about peanut and jelly because it's based on the box office, it's based on this. So I mean, I think it's really cool that these two industries can collide because they're both multi-billion-dollar industries. So if something that Disney likes, say, hey, guess what? We like something from Black Panther. Well, maybe we can think about pushing it or whatever. So
Yeah.
yeah. But anyways, I was gonna hop into my questions because I don't want to hog up too much. So there was a photo floating around for Spider-Man No Way Home. I'm not sure what I'm talking about. It showed a crew member. Actually, he got some goodies. And he
Was that happening? Was that happening today? Because I saw that
it was today.
I saw that it was trending, but I didn't click on it.
Yep, it was trending. So basically, people were where he said it was a crew member, and the next he said he took down the photo. He actually took down his account too. So, and people were saying that there's the photo that was showing was Andrew Garfield. Now, people were wondering. That was like, whoa. I was reading some comments saying, no, wait, it was a Photoshop job, and I'm like, I didn't know what to believe. It's like, is there any validity behind this? I just like the fact is this whole people are saying that Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield situation going on now. As much as that we are still embracing the Snyder Cut. The Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's decision with Tom Holland is just in now because it's not going to come out till like around the holidays this year. It makes me really wondering that are we in a looking ahead to either disappoint ourselves or are we just like saying that I think it's just like getting way blown out of proportion pretty much.
Well, I mean, Zod, you might be able to. I don't know if you agree with me on this one or not, but WandaVision, people got themselves really worked up over WandaVision.
They sure did, and I didn't get past episode 2 of WandaVision. So
yeah, you weren't a fan of it. That's right. But it's like a lot of people were like, "Oh my god, is that Mephisto? Oh my god, is it this? Oh my god, is it that?"
Yeah, some Mephisto theories.
See, people's theories, they milk themselves to the point where if their theories don't come true, then they get mad, then they hate everything, and they want to revolt. It's like don't set yourself up for disappointment. Keep your expectations in check, and then you won't have that problem. I mean, I think a Spider-Man movie that's going to have all the live action Spider-Man, whoever was, in a movie together, I think that's pretty cool. I think the idea behind that is awesome, but I'm not going to have my expectations through the roof either. I'm going to be like, oh, it could be good, but
Yeah, and I keep people asking me, hey Brian, do you know anything about what's going on with Charlie Cox going in the movie? It's like, I don't know. I have no clue about Charlie Cox is going to show in Spider-Man. I mean,
that's the only one I want. That's the only one I care about. Like, don't get me wrong. If Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire show up, that's going to be awesome. But I personally am just like, give me Charlie Cox.
Yeah.
Give me all the Cox.
He's the guy.
He's the guy. He's from Hell's Kitchen. He's gonna burn his
Does
cocks.
it make you wonder if the rumors were true and like what he's gonna do with like Alfred Molina with like in Doc Ock and everything? I mean, it's just like
if Tobey Maguire's in there, they'll probably have a scene together.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it makes. I mean, because like the thing is, I'm a defense man, to be honest with. Like, I want to happen, but I'm like on the other side. It's the other side's telling me no, this is not going to happen. What if Tom Holland's actually telling the truth? I mean, he went on Jimmy Fallon. He said that I didn't have discussions with. I never met discussions with Tom.
Well, they
Holland.
also know not to tell Tom Holland anything. I mean,
Yeah,
at this
yeah,
point,
sure.
that is so abundantly known. Like, okay, so I remember, and then we'll move on for this because I'm starting to get a little sleepy and I kind of want to start winding it down a bit. But remember when the Marvel Sony whole thing fell apart with Spider-Man, and then they had D23, and there was an interview for Entertainment Weekly with Tom Holland, and I did a video about this where I was looking at his body language, and he kept like talking to the reporter and then looking off like this. He kept looking off. Now he was looking off to, in my opinion, it was Kevin Feige, because he trusts Feige and they have a camaraderie and they're friends. The thing is, though, is like, I think that he was doing that because he was looking to see what he could say and what he couldn't say. He was waiting for feedback over what was good, what wasn't good during this interview, because he was trying to do the right thing. He was trying to do the one, because remember, he was impacted by this greatly.
Yeah.
And he said, "We love you 3000" at that event, clearly showcasing that he's got loyalty to Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted to be on that side. And ultimately, like, they came together and figured it out. But Holland, I mean, look, these guys all know each other. They all know what's going on.
Yeah.
The business side of things is going to try to be the best. Do I think Sony's going to want to push for the multiverse? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one of the reasons why Michael Keaton is playing a little hesitant with this Batman thing.
Yeah.
For the Flash, because I think he's negotiating through the trades. I think Sony's getting ready to run parallel to Marvel with a lot of stuff.
And he also knows, think of it this way, that DC right now is a big cluster. So, if you have a chance of reappearing as Vulture, in the MCU, and the MCU is a little more secure at this point.
Yeah. I mean, because like they've been trying to figure out how people have been wanting this Sinister Six movie for like good knows how many years now.
They've tried. I'm hoping we get one, and the thing is, Morbius looks like they are starting to establish it.
Yeah.
So they are going to lay the breadcrumbs, and they're going to lay it all out. And again, that is going to tell you the planning that goes in to these universes, and the planning that should be there from the beginning, and that's what Warner's.
I mean, I'm hoping. Well, my
Hamadaverse.
My listed hope. I know probably want you. I definitely want to see Michael Mando as Scorpion in the movie, but that would be probably not true. Because
I would love to see Michael Mando as Scorpion, because he showed up at the stinger for the end of Homecoming.
Yeah,
and then look. If Morbius if we see Vulture and he's in like the prison outfit he was in at the end of Homecoming, Michael Mando could potentially be nearby. Yeah, and I would love it. I would love it if we got more Michael Mando. I love Michael Mando. I love him as Voss in Far Cry 3.
Matt, you know me, dude. I cannot wait for the season final. Better Call Saul. Oh my god.
I've only seen like 3 episodes of Better Call Saul. I gotta dive in. I know. Don't tell me anything. Don't tell me anything.
Bob Odenkirk's actually.
Don't tell me anything.
Bob Odenkirk's actually in the new action movie too. So.
I know he's in Nobody. I need to. I think it's playing at my theater.
Yeah,
I think
it's just like but it's just like the multiverse is like for Spider-Man. It's just like my God is like I don't want to be like I mean I don't want to say like because MC is as large as as pretty much as a Snyder cut personally how I see it, but I just think that people are just probably either like I said maybe are expecting a little too much out of it. Because I've been reading reports and saying, oh yeah, Andrew Garfield's stunt double was on set and everything. There's all these evidence reports and everything. I'm like, yeah, but how much is all true? Is it just all these people are just scoopers picking up large scoopers and pretending just spreading out false articles? I mean,
you got to think of it like this. Right now, what we're dealing with is a situation where, quite frankly, no one knows anything.
Yeah.
Right. And a lot of people, there are people who have inside access and they get information.
Yeah.
And their job is to disseminate it to the best of their ability.
Yeah.
But you have other people who make things up. Mm-hmm. And you have other people who muddy the waters and they make it very difficult. It's one of the reasons why I don't talk a lot about scoops. I just don't. Yeah. And it's like I could make a lot of videos about them. I could make a lot more money talking about them, but we don't know it. I don't want to get the last thing I want to do as a pundit is to get anyone's hopes up falsely. I don't want to sit there and go like, you know, because I mean, I'm pretty pragmatic even when it comes to the Snyder cut, you know, like, because like I remember talking with like Nicotina, and the first time we talked and whatever, and he's like, oh man, it's gonna be so good, I can't wait, it's gonna be so great, and I just kind of went, what if it sucks?
Yeah.
You know, and he's like, don't say that, you know, and the whole point of me saying this, like, I'm like, dude, don't get your, you know, and the movie didn't suck, thankfully, but it's like, you gotta go in with these managed expectations, because you never know what's gonna happen. And if you like, it's like Deadpool for me. I absorbed everything I could get my hands on for Deadpool going into the movie. First time I saw it, it was okay.
Yeah.
You know, didn't really click for me. But I saw it a couple more times and it clicked. And then I'm like, this movie's a 10 out of 10. You know?
Yeah.
So it's like, it takes a little bit of time to get there, but you also have to manage this stuff. And it's no one's fault but your own. But a lot of people out there kind of put it back on, you know, I mean, look at The Last Jedi. I didn't care for The Last Jedi. Is that on me, or is that on Rian Johnson? And the answer clearly is Rian Johnson.
Yeah.
But you know, but there's also a bit of it that is on me as well. And it's like, am I just so stubborn that I don't want to look at the way he presented it?
Yeah.
I've talked to Enosh about, we need to sit down and have a conversation about that. But
I mean, and another thing too is that now, like, I mean, for me, because now with like, I've been recently from like also from a consumer perspective, and also for like how like Miles Morales has been portrayed lately. I mean, first of all, like, you know, the video game came out for the PlayStation 5, which actually people love, and now Spider-Verse 2 is coming out like in next year. So people were like wondering like, when the hell is Miles Morales is going to show up in the MCU? I mean, he was, you know, Danny Glover's portrayal. I was like, yeah, I got a cousin, you know, and he was referring to Miles. But I was like, okay, so,
yeah.
And I was like, where the hell's Miles? I mean, well, again, is probably in the pre-plan stage. I mean, probably Feige's not going to be thinking about for a while until they introduce Miles Morales.
Well, I mean, yeah. I again, we don't know what's going to happen with any of that stuff just yet. We have to wait and see.
Yeah.
So with any luck, we'll get something out of it. I'm hoping something soon. But hey, man, I'm gonna let you go. I got a couple more people to get to. And I appreciate you coming on, Brian. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, man. Happy birthday. And like,
thank you very much. Yeah. I'll talk to you later, man. Thank you. Bye. Sometimes I try to put like a limit. Like I forgot to bring up the timer. So on the other show, I'll bring up like a 5-minute timer, and I'm like, we got 5 fucking minutes. Get to the, you know. Sometimes it's hard to do. But because it's good to get into conversations and you talk before you know it, it's like 25 minutes later.
Yeah. Especially if it's a decent thread of discussion, you know.
Oh yeah. And Brian's a nice guy. He DMs me a lot, but he's he's a good dude. He's a good guy. All right. Let's bring in John. Couple minutes on the clock, sir, because I am starting to get real sleepy and I do need to get to bed.
Oh, that's all right. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. So what's your thoughts?
Oh, well, I mean, Regal's opened up next week. Everyone knows that. But I'm kind of curious about how they're going to stack the movies back into the theater. I mean, it's like, from my point of view, they have a backlog of movies ready to go. Are they going to really cram them together, or are they going to try and space them out?
Well, I was just looking at my theater, right? So I have a Cinemark near me. And they're showing Nobody. They're showing Tom and Jerry, The Courier, Chaos Walking, Croods, The New Age, Nomadland, and Minari. And I think Nomadland is on digital. I know The Croods is on digital because we have it. And then Minari, I don't quite know. You know, that's only like 2 showings a day. But really, like Chaos Walking is one. You know, Tom and Jerry is still on HBO Max. I don't know how well that's doing otherwise. And Nobody's out. And then next week is Godzilla v Kong, but that actually did really well in China last week. That pulled in 20 million in China. And that's actually going to be something that a lot of people are currently, you know, that they're looking for. It's like, a lot of these reports I've read are,
you know, a couple days ago, I saw bootleg Blu-rays for Godzilla versus Kong on eBay.
Oh, really?
So,
I know. And I know that I know that the cam is out. I do know that the cam has been pirated because I saw some clips are circulating around Twitter. That much I do know. And you know, but I'm not gonna watch any of that shit. I haven't watched
I just thought that was funny. I mean, considering that the movie is, you know, it's gonna get an official release next week for everybody who has HBO Max. You'll be able to watch it. So why would you
or go to the theater to go and see it?
Or go to the theater. Why would you buy a pirated Blu-ray? I mean,
well, because it came from
China
it came from well, Indonesia is what I was hearing, right? So it came from Indonesia or anywhere where it's playing. Okay, and there are people out there. I mean, look, HBO Max is not in every single country.
That's true. That is true.
So HBO Max is
but you
around
can't.
there.
But doesn't HBO have distribution deals with a lot of places around the world to get this out to people? I mean, I thought that there were distribution places and distribution deals in place with all the various streaming platforms around the world, particularly like when they announced the Snyder Cut and stuff. So you would think that there would be the same network in place for like Godzilla versus Kong, right? I mean,
well, yeah, but for those movies are going to go to theaters to go see it, right?
Yeah.
So it's only really where HBO Max is available, and they are doing a slow rollout for that one. So we're gonna have to. I mean, we're definitely gonna have to wait and see how things go. But in the meantime, yeah, the terrible quality of the copy. I think actually those kind of, if I'm being fair, I think a lot of that piracy ends up helping because people see it in this really low quality copy and they're like, no, I really want to see it better. I want to see it in a better setting. So I think people will potentially jump over to that. I'm hoping, and we'll have to wait and see what its earnings. I hope it picks up quite a bit. I hope it does a lot, but I don't know. I really don't. It's all up in the air at this point, So okay. Anything else there, John?
No. Happy birthday. Enjoy your pre-50s where you really hit the don't give a frack period of life.
Well, depending on where I'm streaming, that happens quite often. But I'm going to put more emphasis on this channel going forward. I'm trying to do some stuff where I'm changing up, some life habits that I have that aren't the best. Trying to I figure I got to try to dive into what I want to do and build it up, and I can't spread myself too thin. And that's what I've been doing.
I hear you.
Boulder Talk Radio, Milk Carton Mysteries, Hollywood After Dark, the different channels. That's a lot of shit. It's a Podio commentary. It's a lot of shit, and it just takes up a lot of time. But I like Podio commentary because I can sit down and write, and that's what I enjoy the most. So,
okay.
But that's going to be the plan for the next year. So some stuff is going to be going on hiatus or just getting slowed down on. Yeah, but I want to put more emphasis on this channel because I'm like, I want to talk to more people about movies and not just drama because
drums. Yeah.
Drums.
No, I'm actually quite anti-drama myself. So.
But we know you are pro. But we won't talk about that here.
No,
because I don't have the piano. I don't have the piano music queued up. John here's the thing for grandmas. Anyway, we're gonna leave it at that. He's openly admitted it on another show. Everyone knows it. We all heard it. All right, John.
Oh, there's something out there for everybody.
It's on a different channel.
You pop out them teeth. Anyway, I'm so fucking tired. I can feel it behind my eyes, man. I got it. So I'm gonna John, I'm gonna let you go. I'm just gonna blaze the last couple of people, then I'm gonna go to bed. But
have a good one.
Well, thanks a lot, man. I really appreciate it. All right, we got Arkham Gaming. Thank you so much for waiting, man. I appreciate it.
It's okay. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
I have a few questions. I know some people did not like the Suicide Squad trailer.
I don't know who those people are. I don't get it. That trailer was awesome.
Yeah, they didn't like the dick jokes for some reason. I don't understand it. They don't like new characters to be introduced. They want the same characters to be introduced for some reason. And I feel like that's a little hypocritical with DC fans because they want the same thing over and over, but you won't want things and new characters to be introduced.
Well, they want things over and over, but they don't want the characters to be interpreted differently,
Yeah.
I mean, look, all I'm saying is wait for Black Superman to come out, and that's going to be bad. And I'm for it, but I mean, it's get ready to brace for impact.
Well, yeah, you're going to have, with that in particular, you're going to have an issue because you're going to have people who would be like, they didn't even want to give Henry Cavill his chance to fulfill the promise of Superman, and now they're going in this direction. that's where you're gonna have your issues.
I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not looking forward to any of that.
No, me either.
Like, I don't know that much about Battlesong. Like, it has to do with the character. Like, I mostly focus on like Batman characters and stuff like that. But like, I'm not really looking forward to it. I think they should just keep like Kal-El, like the Superman character, because more people know that character better. Like, just going into like the multiverse is fine, but the one thing that I don't understand, if you're introducing the multiverse, shouldn't you have the Snyderverse to continue also? Because if you're going to these different Earths, like one's Robert Pattinson and one's probably gonna be Blue Beetle, Batgirl, Nightwing, whoever, there should be they should not continue the Snyderverse because
Well, if you recall, during the fandom, they ran like a sizzle reel, and it showed like the different Earths, you know, and so that's kind of how they're handling it. Like the Snyderverse is like it's like Earth 1, it's not Earth Prime, you know. So it's like the Arrowverse is Earth Prime, and then so that even the Snyderverse, which is what we all want, is not even considered, you know.
Yeah.
The main one. So I agree with you. Sorry. I agree with you about all this. I think the big issue here is that the company is trying to bring in as many outside voices as they can, because I think what they want to do is they want to flood the market, right, with as much different stuff as they can, with different voices and different things. I mean, there was that one image that came up from a recent Investors Day, right, where they had like Batgirl and they had Harley Quinn and a bunch of other things on there too, and you can just tell that they're trying to just they're trying to scattershot everything, right, like a shotgun blast, in hopes that it, you know, something picks, right, and like or it's enough of a smokescreen from the Snyder Cut that people they have so much distraction, you know. But this is the problem with these companies, is they don't fucking realize the internet. They don't realize that a lot of people on the internet have a lot of free time.
Yeah,
and
they
like
have
to talk
too
to
much free time.
They have too much free time, you know. So back during like Gamergate, in the early days of Gamergate, you know, when we were fighting for the ethics in journalism, the game Destiny was on the horizon, like a few weeks away. And then the people who were very anti-Gamergate at the time, they thought to themselves like, hey man, once Destiny comes out, all of these, you know, incel virgin losers, they're not going to complain about anything. They're not going to, like, you know, hold us accountable to our own terrible decisions. No, they're going to be off playing Destiny. They're going to be off playing this MMO game. They're going to be off, you know, exploring Mars and like circle jerking each other. That's what's going to happen, man. And it's like, you know what? Loading times are a great time to check Twitter. You know, in between matches is a great time to check Facebook and post a comment or to watch a video, you know? Like, you're not going to be able to stop the signal, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to control the message. You're not. You just never are. Like, as much as Warner Brothers at this point wants to stop this messaging, stop all this, they can't control it. And they should find, but you can embrace it.
Yeah, they have to find like a middle ground. Like, you can do your own stuff. Like, I talked to a few people. Some people don't really like this Snyderverse because there was I think a lot of people have this complaint. Dick Grayson's dead. And they really thought, like, I like some of the decisions that Zack Snyder makes, but there's certain decisions that he makes I don't think he should have made, because, like, you cut out the door for Nightwing. And people, like the Batman fans, wanted to see that relationship between, like, you know, the story between Dick Grayson doesn't want to be Batman because he drives everything for the mission and sacrifices everyone no matter what. And people want to see that relationship between Dick Grayson and how he becomes Nightwing in the DCEU. And a lot of people were angry that he's dead. And, like, they want to see that character. And I understand some people don't like it because how his decision making is not always like that
Well,
way.
I think he's trying to, like, ground the story a bit. You know, look at like how he took out who was the photographer that died?
Jimmy Olsen.
Jimmy Olsen.
Thank you.
But no one cares about Jimmy Olsen.
No one fucking
Well,
cares
there were
about that.
people. Honestly, though, there were people back when BVS first came out who complained about Jimmy Olsen, who complained about the photographer, and it's strange to me. It's like, look, Zack Snyder did something unique with the character, made him a CIA agent versus making him just a photographer, because he had to look at what he could actually do with that character that would be compelling for that particular story. And a lot of people complained about it, and a lot of people hated it. So I don't know.
Yeah,
but I thought it was good because it was unique. It was unique to Zack Snyder's vision. So
I thought it was great that he was a CIA agent.
Yeah,
introduced it. Like, I know the Jimmy Olsen character, but like how they like. Oh, I know a lot of people were introduced with the Jimmy Olsen character. I think with Superman the anime series, like they liked how he was introduced, but I liked how it was like a different interpretation of the character. Like I like certain decisions that Zack Snyder makes it like he makes it like comic book accurate, but he also makes it like grounded, like, and realistic, somewhat like Nolan's trilogy, but not like too realistic.
Well, I mean, I remember with Jimmy Olsen, he had said like this world was already big enough. The world was already like too crowded. So they killed off Jimmy Olsen. Yeah, I mean, look, not every decision that Zach makes is the best one. All right. Like no filmmaker can do that. But I get his logic. Yeah. And that's all that matters is I get the logic. And it's all about suspending disbelief. Like, it's like, it's kind of like when he cast Kevin Costner and Diane Lane as Ma and Pa Kent, kind of an odd casting if you think about it, right? Like, why would they pick these two actors? Well, the thing is, those are serious actors. They take the job seriously. So if they are able to create a world in which they believe what is happening because they are good actors and they are able to portray that, then we, the audience, are able to believe that as well. And that's one of the cool parts about filmmaking is like, it's all about suspension of disbelief. So while there are always going to be creative choices you may not like, if the foundation of the world building is sound, it makes it a little bit easier to digest and it allows you to get past it and move on. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. Here's a question. Do you think, I know there's like this bad blood between Warner Brothers and Zack Snyder. Do you think certain decisions that he was making with certain characters that they wanted to introduce, like Nightwing, or like if they wanted to introduce that relationship between Batman and Dick Grayson, do you think that some of the choices that he was making they did not like, and that could have been part of the reason why they parted ways and interfered with his work somewhat? Because like I know some people have different like theories. It has to do with like certain decisions he's making, or they just don't like him or something like that.
I would argue no. And I say that because the powers that be at Warner's didn't care. Like at the time, they were not planning a multiverse. At the time, they wanted the DCEU to be a concurrent universe. They just didn't like the direction Zack was taking it because it was a dark, somber, more mature tone. But as I've said multiple times, and I'm sure Zod here will back me up, that particular maturity is something that a lot of people have grown to respect and love over the years.
Exactly.
Because
over time.
They lacked the patience to be able to actually tell these stories.
And that's because of Marvel. That's because of Marvel. Marvel kind of conditioned the audience to believe that was the only way forward and that was the best way forward. So that's why everybody was looking to copy them, because that's how people were conditioned by Marvel's storytelling.
I see what you're saying, but if you look at the timing of when this all went down, right? So it's like the Marvel universe started in 2008. 5 years later was when we got Man of Steel, but that was a year
Yeah.
after the first Avengers.
Right.
And so, but then again, so Man of Steel was in development in 2011, which was when we got Captain America and Thor leading into the Avengers. And so clearly at that time,
didn't the Avengers come out in 2012? The first.
yes, it did. May 2012, yeah. And so, but then they were already filming, or they had already filmed Man of Steel, I think, by that time. So they were also starting to develop a Man of Steel 2, which then eventually turned into BVS and whatnot. And I think BVS was a direct response to something like the Avengers, because they were starting to kind of get it up that way. And Goyer was originally, like, he had written a script. Eventually Terrio came on in to kind of revise it and, I think to really work on BVS and stuff. And so, I mean, yes, they very much wanted to be able to compete with Marvel, but it was like, you look at this, Man of Steel, didn't hit $1 billion. BVS should have hit $1 billion. It had the Trinity, didn't hit $1 billion, but that was also marred by the decisions from the executives. And that is,
but does every movie have to hit $1 billion?
No, it doesn't have to. It does, but that was also at the time when movies had started to hit $1 billion. You know what I mean? Like Wonder Woman 84 is expected to hit $1 billion. You know what I mean? Like if Joker could hit $1 billion, Wonder Woman 84 should easily do more than that. Right.
But and this is the funny thing, guys, if we were living in normal times and just say Wonder Woman 84 got a normal theatrical release, I don't know about you guys, but I don't think that there's any way that Wonder Woman 84 hits $1 billion. I think with the terrible word of mouth, with the mediocrity of that movie as a whole, whether you love it or hate it, there's no way it made $1 billion.
Yeah, it didn't seem like a Wonder Woman film. It felt like when I was watching a movie, it felt like more about Maxwell Lord.
It felt like the 1970s show.
Well, I don't know, man. I think the 1970s show is way better than that film.
Well,
that's for
it definitely
sure.
was, but it's kind of like The Incredible Hulk, the movie, was more based off of the TV show, right? And that was how they wanted to introduce Bruce Banner to the MCU. I mean, it even went as far as having the goddamn theme song from the show.
That was great.
After.
When Edward Norton, I think, was the one who was pushing for that. The idea that you got to have the little piano riff from the old TV show, because that's what he wanted. He wanted it to be a more psychological.
And I think it worked. I think it worked.
It was good, but he had a lot of creative difference issues.
Oh
with
yeah,
people.
yeah.
I mean, that was a saga. Now that was something funny.
That's crazy. Yeah, he's probably so pissed off at how much money he lost out on that one. But that was also during the formative years of the MCU before they were finally.
They didn't do anything. They didn't do anything revolutionary with the Hulk, though. That's the thing. The stuff that Norton wanted would have been way more compelling than what we eventually got, because they didn't do anything but break the Hulk character.
Well, the thing is, they can't. Due to the Universal has the publishing rights or the distribution rights.
Yeah.
So they are so stymied by contractual agreements that the Hulk will probably never truly evolve past what we saw in Endgame. And a lot of people didn't really care for specifically, Professor Hulk. I liked it. I thought it was great. But, there was a lot of stuff that, that goes on there with that. That's a problem. But anyway, Arkham, man, I got to let you go. I got one more guy to get to, and then I got to get to bed, man. Okay. Hey, thank you so much for coming and hanging out, and definitely do it again. Okay.
Okay. Bye.
All right. Have a good one, man. Thank you. All right. We got one more person to get to, and that would be Shidoko. What's up, man?
Hey there. I guess I didn't expect to be the last person, but
the last one, make it count. Make it count. I'll boot you from the Discord. Make it count.
I'll make it count. Actually, I was going to bring up just one thing. Happy birthday, Matt.
Thank you.
Whether it has or has not been said earlier today, I want you to know that what you've done here on YouTube, at least I feel, you've truly made a difference in just the community, bringing positivity and just, making things a little less crappier in our lives. Well, maybe not significant amount, but it's somewhere to go to.
Moderate amount of less shitty. No,
Yeah, we're just having fun here. I
Monochrome.
love that. I love that.
Yeah, it's like you know, I like you. You did good. You did just a little bit better than shit. But it's a thing. But I would say I'm going to kind of embarrass you here. So Shidoko did send me this. He did draw me a little thing here and put it
That
in
looks
the
just
Discord.
like you, man.
Yeah,
Totally.
look at those anime eyes. Clearly not tired. Clearly high on cocaine. That's how that works out. No, but thank you very much, man. No, I look. The thing is, like, this. I will be honest. This job, and Zod, I'm sure you'll agree, can get a little bit tiring from time to time. Its whole gig gets a little bit tiring from time to time, because it's just a lot of day in and day out shit. And you're just trying and you're hustling and you're up against a system of people that or a system that is very difficult to operate in. So it's very thank you is what I'm trying to say. I'm just sometimes I get told to more or less kill myself every day. So that's always nice hearing some good feedback. I'm not kidding either. There's a lot of shit people out there don't ever see. I get a lot of shit.
From what I do see in the comment section, whatever does not get filtered out, I can imagine. And for any job, it happens. But hey,
well, over on the other channel, there's a lot more of it that gets out there. Oh, generally over with $3 Theater, it's a lot more positive people. They're like, no, we don't want you to kill yourself, but please do better with your commentary because you suck. No. But I like what I do. I like what I do, and I like who I talk to, and I like having people like Zod on because I like we agree on a lot, but we disagree on a fair amount as well.
It's a lot of fun when you can agree to disagree, and you can be friends.
Yeah.
And have great discourse. So that's one of the things that I love about communities like this.
I'm 39. I'm 39. You dick.
Well, he said he had his. He said he had.
I had my edibles. Happy 40.
Oh God.
Oh man. No, I know. I like doing this stuff. I'm going to put a lot more emphasis on the on getting to know people a bit more and trying to keep away from. I really do want to keep away from certain people. In certain,
I mean, I think you're doing it. I think you're doing a good job, mainly because you've gotten tired of it enough to the point where you don't want to deal with it anymore. So that's a good thing.
Oh, dude, it's so bad. I found out tonight that that over on Nerderotic stream, somebody had impersonated me once again. And was like over there talking a bunch of shit to those guys. And I don't like those guys in general. The Fandom Menace can eat a bag of dicks, right? I'm not a fan. But they're over there talking shit about me, like giving me crap because I do food delivery and whatnot. Hey man, I make like $30 an hour doing food delivery. Like, who can say that about what these guys do? What they make like $8 minimum wage in their shithole town. I deliver people fucking McDonald's and make $30 an hour. Like, what the fuck? It's not bad. It's pretty good money. I'm in a good place to do it. So I'm very appreciative of that, but the thing is, like, these guys, like, they don't ever want to engage with me, but they'll talk all that trash about it. Right. Because they know that I'm going to call them on their nonsense because I just don't care anymore. Like, I'm not trying to win over the Fandom Menace as an audience. I'm not trying to sneak on in there and covertly steal people away. I don't care about none of that shit. I don't want them to be my audience. I don't want any of that crap here. But what I enjoy is cracking that narrative a little bit. What I enjoy is getting in there and just kind of, just making the cracks of the dome show a little bit. And then eventually some people kind of get the gist, and they kind of come to their own conclusion that these people are hustling them nonstop. And that's the sad thing about it is so many people on this platform just selfish, just fucking selfish. But that's one of the reasons why, like, what I want to do is why I open the lines up. I open the lines up. I'm one of the only people to do it as consistently as I do. And I open the lines up and people can call in, like me, dislike me. We can have a conversation. I think that's going to be the ultimate way to go forward. And I had a fucking awesome idea today. I'm going to do this shit this weekend. I'm going to go on Craigslist in Los Angeles, and I'm going to ask people who work in the industry to provide inside stories. No names, no identifying things unless they want to. They want to stand by. But I want to get some of the interesting stories that come out of LA, like ex-personal assistants, drivers, the people who work like security and shit. Those people, dude, they fucking talk, and they love to talk. They love to talk. Because
Taxi cab confessions.
Basically, man. Basically, because like all these people,
Awesome.
like when I worked, you ever remember during the presidential primaries they had Marianne Williamson, the spiritual advisor?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
no.
worked for her when I lived in LA. I worked for her. I was her personal videographer for like a month and a half or some shit. Right. It was like all contractual work, but and I go to her house, I go to her apartment, condo, really. And like, like her assistant is like washing her clothes. Her assistant is doing Marianne Williamson's laundry, and it's like just such this weird dynamic of this person whose job it is to do the laundry of a fully grown celebrity, of a fully grown person who can feed themselves and wash themselves and clothe themselves, but they need their assistant to wash their undergarments and their unmentionables. And it's just so interesting because but it's so weird because even the front door of this condominium building had valets. Like I pull up in I had a 98 Ford Taurus, dude, fucking beat to shit. I pull on up and they're just like, who are you here for? I'm like, Marianne Williamson. And like, all right, go on in. And I'm all like, keep your fucking feet on the mat. Like, I mean, I go to places that have valet parking for a fucking temp job. I worked in an accounting firm, doing temp work in Sunset Boulevard. And literally my car was valet parked every day. Like that is just such a weird world to live in. But like, what are those guys' stories? What do they know about what goes on in Hollywood? I think those would be some interesting things. So I'm going to kind of put out the feelers and see if I can get anyone to anonymously contact. 'Cause I think that shit would be really funny. Cause I've gone drinking with like, Scott Farkas from fucking, Christmas Story, the redhead bully, right? His name is Zach Ward. I've gone drinking with him in Burbank. And like, the thing is, he's a really nice guy, but he positioned himself at the table so people who came into the bar would recognize him. You know how many celebrities do that shit? A ton of them. They go out to a public setting when they put themselves where they're going to be visible because they want people to recognize them. They want to be seen. It's the greatest thing. It's so funny because you can see it coming a mile away, but it works. It's like fishing for compliments, So that's the world, man. That world is so like that. It's so crazy.
Dang. Well, I'm looking forward to that. Actually sounds pretty cool.
I hope I can get some. I'll put some feelers out on Facebook because I'm still friends with a lot of people who do a lot of work.
Yeah, but I think we should wind this down because I know you're tired, and that's
Yeah.
all. Really
It's 2.5 hour stream. I've had a lot of fun. I'm just like, if it goes on longer, it's just gonna be like, what's it's fucking like. Let me tell you about this. It's gotta be them.
Yeah. But hey, you keep on doing you, Matt, because you rock.
Oh, I will. Thank you very much, Joke. I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. Have yourself a good night, man.
You too, man.
All right, thank you. So, Zod, this brings us to the end. You've been here basically the whole time. I really appreciate it.
Sure.
Thank you for hanging out.
Man,
with me today,
I don't mind hanging out with you, man. It's always fun. It's always a good time.
It's that's like I try to be entertaining. I like to bring on entertaining people, because I think where we find ourselves, looking at like the future of the Snyder Cut, in this whole situation, I think it's going to be very fascinating to see where we end up, and it's always going to be fun to talk about it, because I don't know, it's a wide open world and shit, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. And I'm glad, for you and Max and Enosh and Saggy and everyone else who comes on and hangs out on these streams. It's kind of a ragtag group of people with a wide variety of different opinions.
That's for sure.
But we all get along really well, and it's good to just kind of chat with everyone, and the chat's always awesome. So yeah, it's good. I think it's going to be a good year. I'm very excited to see what happens in my 39th year.
Well, happy birthday, man.
Thank you very much. All right, for everyone else out there, I didn't catch the Rock joke. Sorry. I'm tired, Jodoka. Was it like a Boulderverse thing? I don't know, man. The Boulderverse. There we go. That's going to be my own personal. Fucking so tired. My own personal brand. All right. Eddie says, love you, brother. Thank you very much, man. Jack here says, Matt, you're fucking funny. You're the GOAT. You say that because you're on edibles, but I appreciate that. Thank you very much. All right, everyone. And thank you very much. Have yourself a great night and peace the fuck out.